What's going on? Facebook, YouTube, Spreaker, the RCWR Show app, available in the Google Play Store for free. Checking out new RCWR Show coming at you guys for Wednesday night of May 16th, 2018. Don't get used to Wednesday nights. This is the only time, at least right now, unless some things go down with the NHL, with the end, already like less than 5 minutes, and I'm already fucking up. But no, less than 5 minutes into the show, I'm already messing up. But no, we're just doing this for this week only, unless something weird comes about with the NHL. See, I still can't get it because I don't watch it enough. That's right, hockey. Goddamn it, hockey playoffs. Unless something goes down with the hockey playoffs, or something goes about as far as the NBA playoffs, this is pretty much the only time we're going to be coming on Wednesday night for you guys. There was a lot going on last night. You had the Capitals playing. You had LeBron James and the Boston Celtics. I wanted to see that series, so I'm actually glad I had watched that. What a beating, by the way, that the Cavs had took. I'm going to get into that just a little bit more in a couple of seconds, but I do welcome you guys that's checking out tonight's episode, man. It really means a lot. So, like I said, coming on Wednesday night, man, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure you click the likes, do the retweeting, all that really helps out, especially when we do episodes like this normally where we don't air on a regular day and times. More retweeting, clicking those hearts, likes, however you're checking it out, it really does help out tremendously. So we got a game on right now. It's the only game on tonight aside from hockey, but I'm just going to stay focused on this one tonight. We've got the Golden State Warriors taking on the Houston Rockets. It is the second quarter right now with 7 minutes and I'll say about 5 seconds in the first half here, second quarter. Right now it is Houston Rockets with the lead 40-32. Again, 40-32. And right now, Golden State Warriors, they have the series 1-0. So Houston looking to tie this series up before it shifts back to the Golden State Warriors here. So we'll see if they can get the job done. I'll keep you guys posted on that game throughout the night, man. But yes, great to be back doing the show. A lot of good stuff. I love it when we have those weeks where once the show is put out there and then over the course of the next several days, some more cool stuff goes down because it gives us so much more that we can talk about. I think it's really freaking cool, really badass. So as always, I love interacting with you guys. Interact with me a couple of different ways. You can do so by YouTube, Facebook, Spreaker. There's chats all through there. There's even a chat via the RCWR Show app, which is available for free in the Google Play Store. You can't beat the word free. Free. Bring them on camera. Bring who on camera? I got my girl saying, bring them on camera. Bring who on camera? I don't know who are we bringing on camera here. But yeah, it's a good series right now, man. I'm loving it. I am freaking loving it. I like how the camera keeps doing an autofocus thing over here for the Facebook stream. Like 1 minute it has me locked in, and the next minute it zooms out, and then it kind of zooms back in. I got to work on the actual settings for that one and see if we can work that out. But I tell you, man, I don't even know where I want to begin with this show tonight. I mean, I have an idea of what I want to talk about, but my God, a lot of good stuff. Where do we want to begin? Do we want to dip into the whole Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, all-in event? Do we want to like kick it off by talking about that and maybe work our way through everything that's been coming about since last we went on air? I think that's really a good way to start. Yeah, I think so. So in case you ain't figured it out by now and you're a new listener, Lee Sanders here. You're checking out the RCWR Show, covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond, and been doing so since 2011. Let's jump right into it. We're going to go for the juggler. So all in, all the praise and glory that has been coming to Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks for this all-in event, I got to tell you, congrats. I really sincerely mean that. Sincere congrats to Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, because when you look at the origins of how everything began with them, getting the inspiration to do this all-in event. It all started off with somebody putting a tweet out there to Dave Meltzer, basically saying, "Hey, Dave, what do you think the odds are of Cody Rhodes and Young Bucks and a couple other cats trying to sell out an event?" And Dave Meltzer basically jumped out there and said, nah, they couldn't even fill up a house full of 10,000 people. And Cody Rhodes basically took that as a fun challenge, saying to Dave Meltzer, challenge accepted. And that was like almost less than a year ago. You fast forward to now. And over the weekend, the all-in event that's going to be happening in Chicago, Illinois, my old stomping grounds, my hometown, sweet home, Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. They sold out. It didn't even make it to an hour. From what I understand, all the tickets had sold out, 10,000 seats. It sold out in about at least under or right at the 30-minute mark. And I got to tell you, when I first saw the prices some weeks back, I'm going, my God, these prices are really, really affordable. Man, they are really, this is reasonable, really good seats. The highest you would have to pay for a seat, front row ringside seat, was $128. Like, so affordable, okay, compared to, say, a WWE show. Yeah, just for a regular episode of Monday Night Raw. Nah, that ain't happening. You're gonna be paying a couple of $100 for an episode of Raw. Yeah. So for them to go in with these really great affordable prices, really kind of saying, okay, look, we know a lot of you guys are going to have to worry about food expenses, traveling expenses, hotel expenses, miscellaneous stuff, far as buying memorabilia. We get all that. At the end of the day, we want to make these prices be as affordable to you as much as humanly possible. And for them to have the type of prices that they have put forth, you're going, wow, really hope this sells then. This is really good. No matches announced, none of that. You're just going, okay. Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, they're doing this. And of course, over the course of several weeks, you hear about all the people that's going to be showing up to this event. And you're going, okay, this looks good. This looks good. All right, this person's coming. Hey, that looks good too. All right, great. But no matches have materialized, right? But they were able to sell this out. And I tell you what, I have friends that have, I'm not going to put their names out there because I don't want them feeling as though they're being blasted or anything like that, because that's definitely not the case at all. And I love these people, love them tremendously. But I have friends that have their own respected independent wrestling promotions, and they can't even draw at least 3,000 people to their respected event. And to hear that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks were able to do this, they were able to sell out 10,000 seats. Man, I tell you, that is a accomplishment in itself. And I love how the reactions have been on social media for all of these guys with this event. I mean, you take your pick, to the Mick Foleys, to the Paul Heymans, any and everybody involved in the wrestling business from various promotions. Okay, everybody collectively coming together and saying, congrats, this is really cool. I mean, when you really stop and think about it, I don't even think Dave Meltzer can pull anything up out of the history books. We have never seen a wrestling event like this in all the years of wrestling. We've never, that has no card, no match card announced for that matter. Never have we seen this before go down, where an event sells out and you don't know what the matches are. I mean, that's just mind blowing. That's just totally freaking mind blowing. It really is. Now, I know we have some people that are looking at this and they kind of want to say, man, something don't seem right. Something just doesn't feel right. This seems a little bit bogus. What the hell is going on here? Man, these tickets couldn't have possibly sold. What the hell? Something don't sound right. Well, first off, there's no way that these guys can dip into any type of illegal activities because one way or another, everything is going to trace back. The leak will be found, and that's going to make everybody get in serious trouble. All right, now let me let you guys in on a little bit of some tips here, okay? Because you're listening to somebody that has spent almost, oh, I'll say 7 years working in marketing slash market research. And I have definitely been making it my business to befriend people, try to, who's who. I got my own respected connections and all that. And let me tell you, combining all of that and also combining my experience in retail, let me tell you how this most likely had went down, and as it would go down for any type of a local event in particular. Okay, so you have an event like Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks have coming up late August, right? Right. So you say, okay, we need to get as many eyes on this as humanly possible. What could we possibly do? Okay, so you say, well, tell you what, let's buy some airtime on local FM stations, AM stations. Let's buy up some local ad time and we'll do some ad placements. And then on top of that, we will make some of our talent be accessible to do some on air interviews, try to really hype up this event, get it over. And, maybe we can try to see if we can put a couple of tickets on out there, give them to the radio stations, let them give the tickets away, right? Because everybody, when it comes to these events, there's a certain amount of tickets that you can give away. And normally, in a situation like working with the radio station, some radio stations, they'll work on a deal where, okay, well, if you can give us access as far as interviewing certain pieces of talent, yeah, in exchange, yeah, we'd be more than happy to take 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 tickets off your hands and give them away for the course of a couple of weeks or whatnot. Okay. So that's one of the many ways that you can go about doing it. You can also reach out to scalpers. You can also reach out to them. You can also reach out to, and this is something that I learned very, very well, in particular, while I was working at Hallmark. For you longtime listeners that remember, I used to stay and I befriended many people during the brief time that I had worked at Hallmark. I had befriended many people that would come into the stores. And if you ask any veteran online or someone that has their own mom and pop store, what's one of the most popular things that comes about from Hallmark, they'll tell you hands down, oh, the ornaments. The ornaments sell big time. And when I was working at Hallmark, I had the opportunity to befriend a lot of people that would come into the store and they would have a set list of ornaments that they were looking for. So, for example, if, okay, for the very first time, Walking Dead's Negan is available. All right, there's going to be a lot of people probably looking for that. Or maybe the latest theme is the new Star Wars movie, and there's like this cool, unique character. These people would come into the store, and these were merchants. Either these merchants would have their own physical store that you could get to, or they would sell it online. But they would come into Hallmark and they would buy all of these ornaments in bulk. I mean, they were able to literally, at times, take all that we had that was on inventory, that was on hand, and they would just make their rounds, go into the other stores, and they would buy them all up. Now, Hallmark got a little bit better over the years because what they started to do was, okay, we're going to order this amount and they're pretty much going to be available for pre-order on a first come first serve basis, and they basically would do it like that. So once that store had reached its limit, store merchants were still able to go around and, okay, well, look, I want to buy, X amount. So whatever that respected store was able to do number wise as far as pre-orders, that would be honored, but there would only be but so many that wasn't pre-order, like okay, put your name on the list, and there would only be a certain amount that you'd be able to see on display that would be available on hand if you did not pre-order. And then once that was sold out, that was sold out. Everything else that had remained at the store, that would be pretty much on hold for those that had to pre-order. So there would be a lot of folks, retailers, online, local store that would come in, buy them all up, and then they would turn right back around and they would sell it through their own respective outlets. And a lot of cases, they would get 2-3 times the money, whatever, like that. Okay. So I would imagine that with regards to the All In event, that's probably something that probably had came about. They had probably struck deals with radio stations. They also had probably struck out some deals with scalpers and you name it. And see, anybody remember when the Super Nintendo Mini Classic had came out, and then the model before that, the NES Classic Mini? Anybody remember when those had came out? Well, if you did a lot of research on that, you know that there were software programs set up so that you could put in your credit card information, let it search for keywords, etc. If you had the serial part number and all that, even better, and you could pretty much go about your day. You could go to work, you can go on vacation, you can go sleep for 10, 12, 8 hours or whatever. But because you use that software would be on the lookout the minute that a Nintendo was available for sale, and it would just instantly buy them up. You didn't have to worry about anything. So this is something that has been very, very a big ass pain in the you know what for a long time now. And it's just gotten to the point where some of your favorite artists, some of your favorite musicians, they just decided, okay, you know what? I'm done dealing with this crap. I'm done dealing with these online platforms because my fan base, they're not really getting a legitimate shot to go online, get a ticket to come see my event, and instead they got to go outside of this website and pay 2, 3, 4, 5 times the price. So, that's why you see guys like Nine Inch Nails. They're doing something that is very prehistoric. They're basically making tickets be available pretty much at the will call booth or Wilco booth for the event that they got coming up in a couple of weeks. So, you see stuff like that. And you also hear what Dave Chappelle and Jon Stewart are doing as they're going on tour together. They're literally pulling a page out of Trent Reznor's playbook. I'll give you the skinny on that much later in the show. So, I honestly, I wouldn't imagine that there was probably a lot of other things that were at play in selling out this all-in event. But at the end of the day, I do believe that they legitimately did sell this out, or at least damn near came close to it, and will definitely have it be accomplished for sure by the time the event comes up. Now, let me tell you something. If it's a situation where once the event comes up and we're able to see some type of live footage, because I know Cody Rhodes and the gang, they're talking about possibly entertaining streaming platform ideas. They really were hyping this up as an event where you need to be there to actually see it. You got to be in person for this, but they did say they were going to entertain the idea of streaming platform opportunities. I would imagine that from those that's going to be there in attendance, if it's not looking like 10,000 is there, that 10,000 seats sold out, you're definitely going to be hearing about it from a lot of people. But, it's still, for what it's worth, you know what? Until we're proven different otherwise, I think it's a really awesome feature that they were able to accomplish. And I like what Dalton is saying in the, what the hell? Say what? No, man. No, we're not showing that. I thought you had something to say with regards to the whole put him in timeout. I thought he had something to say with regards to the whole deal that we just talked about there. But just for those of you that maybe had missed it, there was a little bit of a press conference that had went down with the All In event. And so far, talents announced: Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Stephen Emil, Tessa Blanchard, Diana Porzaro, Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., Chelsea Green, Joe Janela, Penelope Ford, Okada, Jay Lethal, Britt Baker, Matt Cross. And probably one of the biggest pieces of news that had came out of this event is two things. One being Billy Corgan, who's representing the NWA, the new owner of NWA. He announced that the NWA World Heavyweight Championship will be defended at the event, and it will be against Cody Rhodes. And of course, there was the question about actually the second part to that was the Young Bucks announcing that Rey Mysterio is going to be participating in this event. So that's pretty badass as well. Rey Mysterio being involved in this. So there was actually a third thing that had came from this, and it didn't necessarily go down at the press conference, but it did come about leading up to the event and then after the event. So at one point, Vince Russo, it looked as though he had been given the green light to participate in this event, but you turn around and some stuff had went down where Cody Rhodes basically had put out a tweet responding to Vince Russo out in the open saying, "Stay away. We don't reward bad behavior." Yeah, he said, "Stay away. We do not reward bad behavior." You're going, "Ooh, damn." So, when you hear that from Cody, you're going, "Damn, that's vicious." But man, if there was ever a time to own somebody, man, that was a time, that was the place, because you're literally Cody is the one that started this. He's the one that's inviting folks to this event. So he can pretty much pick and choose. He can pretty much go, yeah, yeah, I'll go ahead. Yeah, they're good. They can come. Sure. They can come to the party. Yeah. No, no, no. I remember them being a dick to me a couple of years ago. No, no. Didn't he say something bad about me on a podcast one time? No, I'm not interested. So I mean, Cody is literally in that position where he can pick and choose. And I don't know how many of you guys had saw the diatribe of that had came out of Vince Russo's mouth this week. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it was like a tirade that Vince Russo had put out that was 40 minutes long. And then the next day he did, I want to say, almost a 30-minute piece, basically the morning after he put out the 40-minute piece and everything. And I didn't have, now look, I know we got a lot of people that's going to be, oh man, Vince Russo sucks and Vince Russo that and Vince Russo this. Me, honestly, I have got to be one of the most rarest people that you'll come across on social media with regards to Vince Russo. When it comes to Vince Russo, I am very neutral. I am. I am very, very, very neutral. Okay. Probably the only time I have gone on record and I have been like, okay, that really wasn't cool. I don't know what the hell he was thinking with that. I have been critical of some of the things that Vince Russo has done over the years, in particular, what he did certain moments in TNA history. I have been critical of that, but not to the point where I've never came on this show, and unlike some people, and I'm not putting anybody down in any type of way. So don't get my words twisted, but in no type of way have I ever been saying fire Vince Russo and hashtag fire. I've never, that's childish for me. That's childish. If I'm not feeling somebody, if I'm not enjoying their work, things of that nature, I'm just gonna tune them out. I treat it no differently than if I go to a establishment to get something to eat and I'm not feeling the customer service, I'm not liking how the food tastes. I'm gonna let my voice be heard, but I'm definitely gonna take my time, my money, my business elsewhere at the end of the day. I'm not gonna go on and on and on and on and on complaining about it. Okay. So I'm definitely pretty neutral when it comes to Vince Russo. A lot of the stuff that Vince Russo had said, I was feeling. I mean, look, the way that everything had went down with him and Cody, I look, as much respect as I have for Cody Rhodes, and this is his event, he can invite whoever he wants to invite. I'm not really sure what exactly went down as far as Cody's dad and Vince Russo. You got Russo saying, "Hey, I've never really had the opportunity to meet with Cody." You know, I worked with his dad for a lot of years in WCW, and me and him, we got along great. I don't know if Cody Rhodes would beg to differ, but you've got Russo saying, hey, I never had a problem with Cody, never had a problem with Goldust. It's like, I'm not really sure what the hell is going on here with Cody. You know, if that's really the case, then I just kind of feel as though, man, this stuff that's going down out in the open on social media, shouldn't this be more of a situation where man to man, mano y mano, y'all talk behind closed doors? You all just maybe are on a phone call talking to each other, hammering all of this out. Now, I mean, some people are like, oh man, this has to be a work. This man, by the time you get done watching Vince Russo's 40-minute tirade, you're really left going without a shadow of doubt. Nah, this definitely was not some type of a string the fans along moment. This wasn't a swerve. Okay. So you got Vince Russo. He's saying, hey, I wanted to come to this event because I felt that I would have been in a really good opportunity to swerve the fans over if there was ever a time to really pull a good one on the fans. This was the event. And he talked about how he was going to try to do that swerve moment. And he kept reiterating that this wasn't about him, that, you know, it wasn't about him looking for a payday. You know, it was just really about selling a really cool moment. And I like some of the bullet points that he made with regards to this concept that he had in mind. The only thing is, the more and more I stopped and I really listened to this concept that he had, the more and more I couldn't help but say, okay, well, Vince, this might be a good moment that you would have with the fans and really selling a pretty badass moment. But how does this benefit the talent that's actually there at the event that's going to be on this card? How does it exactly benefit them? Because you said that you would not benefit from this at all, but again, you're talking about yourself and this particular moment that you're putting out here in detail. You know, this sounds more like getting you over, with all due respect, but that's how it comes off. So, and then part two of that was, well, where do you hope to take this? Because the way this event is coming off, hey, we're going to put all our eggs into this one basket. This is a one off. And you know what? We may never do this again. So what? What are you gonna, you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, what do you hope afterwards? Because if this is going to be just a one-off deal, and the way Cody and Young Bucks are talking, it's just pretty much, we're one and done. If we're going to do something like this again, we'll talk about it at a later date. But we just want, we just want to do this. Seems like this is something that's pretty cool. You know, we'll see what happens. I would imagine that if everything turns out great for these guys, maybe they would entertain making this a yearly event. But until they get to that point, you got to deal with what's going to be coming about in a couple of months. So, okay. So, Vince, you have this epic segment. Okay. Then what? Then what happens? You know, it's really weird. It's really weird how that all had came off. So, you know, I kind of wasn't really feeling him from that standpoint. But you know, as much as I love Cody Rhodes, I have a lot of respect for Cody Rhodes. I love everything that he's been doing since he walked away from the WWE. Seems like his career has just really been revigorated. I just can't help but wonder, okay, Cody, if you really did not want to have Vince Russo at this event, after you find out he was invited to this event, graphics are put out there on social media. I mean, you saw the biggest turnaround for graphics for a talent that's supposed to be coming get pulled. I mean, I mean, 1 minute the Vince Russo graphics were there, and then the next minute it was gone, like it never happened. Okay. What I don't understand is once Cody Rhodes found out that Vince Russo was invited and Cody did not want Russo there, rather than put him down the way that he put him down on social media, why not just pick up the phone? It's your event. Call the man yourself and say, hey, look, man, I appreciate your interest. I really appreciate you wanting to get involved in this event, but respectfully, I'm going to have to decline. the invitation. I appreciate you wanting to step on in and really help us out, but we kind of want to make this be more of a family, inter-family type of circle that's going to be working on this event. We don't want for there to be any distractions. Really, you don't even need to go into that much detail. You don't even need to go into all that. You could just be like, now, we're going to go in the direction that we're currently going in right now. We really feel as though we have all the talent that we need. But if we decide we want to do this again, we'll definitely keep you in mind for the next one. Okay. That way, even if it's not sincere, you are basically not coming off as a total dick. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I would imagine it felt pretty good for Cody Rhodes to just, oh no, I'm going to be able to get the one up on this guy. But then the other thing, Cody Rhodes calling Vince Russo a homophobe and all this other stuff. Man, you got to be careful these days when it comes to social media, man, because now more than ever, depending on where you live, you got laws that are really, really starting to become, what's the right words I'm looking for, that are getting passed. Where if you do any type of defamation of character, hateful speech, cyberbullying, there's now laws. You can now take somebody to court. You can give somebody a restraining order. Damn, if they're in your city, state, or not, you can get in contact with your local authorities, and your local authorities will get in contact with the authorities in the city and state where you're having issues with that person, and you'll be able to put some type of a restraining order out there. The police will be able to go and knock on that person's door. It varies state to state, city to city, but we're just getting to that point now. You got to be careful what you put out there about somebody, especially if it's inaccurate. You damn sure need to be extra, extra careful. And, you got to be smarter than that. You got to be. And I can just legitimately see the facial expressions on Vince Russo. I could feel it in his voice, how upsetting it was that somebody was calling him a homophobe and, homophobic, and they didn't even know his upbringing, and to hear Vince Russo talk about his childhood, his family, and him being friends with the older gay couple that had lived next door. Also mentioning how he had brought on his podcast, um, what was it? A man that decided he wanted to become a transgender, if I remember it right. So I mean, all of this, it's like, man, you got to be careful. You just got to be careful. So it really came off to me that Vince was deeply, deeply hurt, and I'm not taking sides. So don't get me twisted. Don't try to put me in a certain category. But at the end of the day, I think many of us would definitely agree, regardless how you feel about Vince Russo. I think a lot of us would be in agreement that, wait a minute, man, if somebody is coming at me with this unfounded information that they're putting out there and is defamation of character, I mean, that has a huge domino effect. I mean, just stop and think about that. Okay, so basically it's being insinuated. Just put yourself in Vince Russo's shoes for a second. So basically it's being insinuated that you hate gay people, right? It's being insinuated that you hate blacks or you hate whatever, you're not for equal rights. And imagine if somebody went on this social media campaign putting you out there like that. At the end of the day, for guys like Vince Russo, that is hurting his name, which is his brand. And it's with that name slash brand that he's going out there and he's trying to find endorsement deals, advertising deals, sponsorship deals, things of that nature. And for these potential sponsors, advertisers, etc., to go, oh man, we heard this stuff about you. Damn, you don't like gay people? What's going on? You're homophobe, apparently. I mean, that has rippling effects on one's career, and it can come back to bite you in the ass. All right, not just the victim, but it could definitely hurt the person eventually that's putting these type of bogus claims out there. So, if I had a message to anybody, sometimes that's why I'm kind of glad that I don't have a kid in the picture right now, because just what I have been seeing with the internet these past 15 years, it's mind blowing. And I say it's mind blowing on so many levels. It's mind blowing because of one, I love the technology. I love what we're able to do now. I just literally watched a commercial the other day where you're now able to bake a chicken with your smartphone, right? Apparently we got like these smart ovens now or whatever, and it can bake whatever for you, and it'll be practically ready by the time you get home or whatever, right? So on the one hand, I'm looking at all of these great gadgets. I'm looking at the internet. I'm looking at the social media, and I'm looking at, wow, how if it's used right, if it's used properly, wow, it's an amazing, beautiful thing. But then we've got these dark, ugly sides to social media and the internet, and sometimes I just cringe at what I see, and it just makes me kind of glad I don't have a child in the picture right now, because I would just be fearing for their dear life that, is my kid being treated fairly? Is my kid, is my kid being shown respect? Because I know they're being raised in such a way where they're giving that respect, they're channeling that respect out there. Is my kid okay with some of these sites, with some of these people that they're interacting with? Because I see so much hate that's going on right now, so much defamation of character. It's mind-blowing. It's freaking ridiculous, man. It really is. I guess this is a good segue, because actually I'll come back to that. Let me finish up the whole All In event. So All In event, you got that going on with Vince Russo. And then, of course, one of the main components to this event possibly selling out, a lot of people are under the impression that maybe, just maybe, CM Punk is going to be showing up at this All In event. Now, I put out a tweet on social media. You can easily go back. You could pull this up. I basically had said, hey, man, a lot of these people, they probably jumped out there, scalpers included, everybody. They probably jumped out there and purchased these tickets because they're saying, hey, CM Punk, CM Punk's going to be in the area. And you saw what Cody Rhodes and them had said at the press conference. Oh, yeah, by the way, CM Punk's going to be doing an autograph signing at the Pro Wrestling Tea Store. And you're going, interesting. Whether or not CM Punk is going to be there or not, I mean, great marketing strategy. Great freaking marketing strategy. I love it. Marketing, market research. That's what I'm an expert in. That's what I've been doing for almost 10 years. So, I mean, it's great. It's ingenious what they came up with. Okay. I have the strongest feeling. If you ask me straight up, is CM Punk going to be at the All In event? Yes, I do believe he will be at the event. I do. Those subtle touches that Cody Rhodes and the gang were doing, I truly believe in my heart of hearts they were able to work something out with CM Punk. He will be showing up at that event. Now, if you ask me for a bold prediction, I'm not picturing him doing something. I'm not picturing him doing something as far as wrestling. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing him wrestle at the event. I'm seeing some type of a moment come about, though, that's going to involve him, and he will get physical to the point he will do the GTS. I am seeing something like that come about, but that's about it. I can also see him maybe getting on the microphone, saying a little something, but that's about as far as I can see. I'm not seeing a match come about. Hate to burst a lot of people's bubbles, but I'm not seeing that. Hey, do I hope I'm wrong? Yes. Because if he were to wrestle at the event, that would be even more badass. But I'm just not seeing that right now. And for those of you that maybe had missed that news as far as the whole CM Punk signing, I want to give you this information right now. So for those of you that are maybe checking this out on on your desktop or whatnot, if you got a pen and a piece of paper nearby, or you got your phone. Some of you guys know how to open up multiple things while you're also streaming stuff. I want you to make note of this web link I'm about to give you guys, and this is going to be very helpful to you all. Bear with me a second here. Let me actually pull up my Gmail here. Now I actually give it to you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. If you are, make sure you give it the thumbs up. If you're checking this out via YouTube, click on the thumb icon. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe so you never miss out on all the great content we do for you here on a weekly basis. Facebook, you got the heart, you got the smiley face, all that good stuff. So click on those bad boys. Appreciate that as always. Spreaker, same drill as always. You got pretty much what Facebook and YouTube have. So here's the link I want for you guys to make note of. www.eventbrite. Bright is spelled Brite. www.eventbrite.com/E as in Edward /CM. Do the hyphen, that little dash. CM Punk. Do that slash again, that hyphen. @ / again. Pro dash again. Wrestling dash tees dash tickets dash 4594116326. I'm only going to say that once. If you guys need to hear all that again, you got the rewind. If you're checking it out live on YouTube, you've got the replay button. You can actually rewind a few seconds and you'll be able to get that down again. But I'll also put that link up in the chat for you guys. And I want you to check that out. Bookmark that, save that, because CM Punk is going to be showing up at this Pro Wrestling Tees store in August. I believe it's Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually looking at the link right now and got this loading up. Yeah, Friday, August 31st, which is pretty much all in weekend. He's going to be there. Really great, affordable prices. Now, I made sure I did cross-referencing because I looked at other people that were having events at Pro Wrestling Tees stores. Bookmark this page because tickets will be going on sale Wednesday, May 23rd at 12 p.m. Central. Again, at 12 p.m. Central. So make sure you're coordinating right with Central Time. And when the tickets do go on sale, I mean, listen to this. This is really, really badass. Okay. Now, first off, ticket and ID are required for this event. The ID and ticket name must match. I repeat, ID and ticket name must match. So if you guys like to go by, if you guys like to go by, I don't know, Tony, and your real name is Alfonso, or Freddie or whatever, you got to go in with your actual name. Otherwise, I have a feeling they're going to turn your ass away. Okay. Check this out. Autograph sessions is going to be from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. You'll have the professional photo op sessions from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Check out the ultimate package, $90 clubbering time combo. That includes an exclusive t-shirt, could be a small to a 5XL, one autograph 8x10 or personal item, and professional photo op. You're allowed one guest for the photo op. Guests will not receive an autograph. They also have individual ticket options if not buying the combo package. $50, one autograph 8x10 or personal item. Additional autographs are available for purchase. $50 professional photo op. You are allowed one guest. Photos available on the Pro Wrestling Tees Facebook page. And here's what's really badass about this. Only 200 total tickets will be available for this event. All sales are final, no refunds, no exchanges. So that's going to be pretty badass. Now, if you guys are asking me straight up, Lee, what's going on with you and All In Weekend? Are you going to be the goal right now? I'm actually trying to be in Chicago for the All In event. I was very curious about taking part in the podcast RAW because I know that's something Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson that they had kind of brainstormed and got Cody's blessing. Conrad is really the one that had came up with the whole concept, and they're gonna be doing this whole podcast role the whole weekend there. It's like a great opportunity for other wrestling podcasts to mango, and it's great networking when it's all said and done. I was very interested in taking advantage of this, but they aren't quite doing it like Awesome Con and a couple of other con events that I'm aware of and that I've partaken in, which is okay, you can have your table and you can make payment installments, have the money ready to go before this date. The way these guys are going to be doing it, um, you got to cough up all the money at once, sadly. So otherwise, I would so partake in the podcast row. But it's going to cost at least $500 for those of you that are curious to you, my colleagues out there. It's going to cost at least $500 if you're interested in getting a table. So I do plan on being at the event, but what's probably going to most likely happen to me is I'm probably just going to go as a spectator. Quite honestly, I'm probably gonna go and do some type of interactions. I'm just not going to be part of the podcast role. But what is going to be ultimately bringing me out there to Chicago, if everything goes down right, I am trying to do my very best to secure my CM Punk ticket. So I've already got the hotel in mind that's already booked. So I've already let my boss know, hey, this is what's going on. I'm off next Wednesday because I'm going to be in front of my computer early. And that's my advice to you guys that's going to be looking to get the CM Punk tickets. You make sure that you're in front of your computers early. Honestly, make it like a half hour early. I'm going to give you probably the biggest tip that like a lot of people don't think about. If it's a situation where you can log in and you can already have your credit card information saved, then I would recommend leading up to the event, you go ahead, you do that, do a test run, and then that way, when the event comes, you're already logged in, you're good to go. Your credit card information is already there. You can pretty much just go click, click, boom, you're done. All right. Everything's already filled out. You're good to go. So good luck to you guys. Checking out the game right now. Houston Rockets, this third quarter, we got about 5 minutes left. Houston Rockets still got the lead, man. It is 80-66 right now. Again, 80-66. Ooh, go ahead. Good job. Good job, Paul. Now it's 83-66. I got to tell you, with regards to the Cavs Celtics game from the other night, my God. I put a tweet out and some people felt as though I was kind of overreacting, but you're talking to somebody that has been watching the NBA. I almost literally came out the womb watching the NBA. All right. You're talking to somebody that has been watching the NBA ever since Michael Jeffrey Jordan was drafted to the Chicago Bulls. All right. That's how long I go back to basketball. So I've seen a lot. I've watched LeBron James since he's come to the league. I've watched the teams that he's played for. And I'm telling you, LeBron James, yes, he had a very good performance the other night. He did. Everybody was going, oh, it's going to be a legendary performance that LeBron James is going to be putting out there. It's going to be a iconic performance. It is going to be a transcendental performance, right? That's what everybody was saying. Now, he did go out there. He did have a good game. I will definitely give him his props. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you do as far as your score, your rebounds, all that. None of that matters. What people ultimately will remember, did they win or did they lose? That's what they're ultimately going to remember. And what I had said last night, I said, man, the Celtics, they have good one-on-one coverage. They are good. They are the best when it comes to defense. I mean, during the regular season, they were ranked like number one. Okay. You got Cleveland. I mean, they were way down in the hundreds on defense. And now that you kind of narrow it down to the playoffs, I mean, they're still pretty much in last place when it comes to defense. All right. They allow so many points. It's not even funny. You look at the scoreboard for the game the other night. You look at the Cavs. Okay. Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm not going to go, just listen to this. All right. I'm not going to go all overkill. LeBron James playing 39 minutes, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, 42 points. Kevin Love played 35 minutes, 15 rebounds, 2 assists for a total of 22 points. All right. Tristan Thompson. The hell is Tristan, man? Not really showing up here. Very inconsistent. 30 minutes, 7 rebounds, only 8 points. Kyle Korver. All right, Kyle, I see you. 21 minutes, 1 rebound, 11 points. J.R. Smith played 27 minutes, got 3 rebounds, did 1 assist, made no points whatsoever. There was just really no help from the supporting cast. I mean, when I'm looking at the Cavs here, I'm going, George Hill, where are you? Tristan Thompson, I need a little bit more. J.R. Smith, what the hell, man? Jeff Green, I need you to step up. Rodney Hood, where are you, man? I mean, my God. And then I go over, I look at what the Celtics were doing. I mean, look at this. Maurice Morris, 12 points. Jason Tatum, 11 points. Al Harford, 15 points. Terry Rozier, 18 points. Jaylen Brown, 23 points. Marcus Smart, 11 points. Aaron Baines, 9 points. I mean, that is, yeah. And it's a 107-94. Celtics beat the Cavs 107-94. I mean, just based on what I have seen so far from this series, Cavs, I could see them possibly winning 2 games of this series. I got Cavs advancing. I'm sorry, Celtics. I've got Celtics advancing. They are advancing. Now, before anybody goes, oh man, is Cavs your team, Lee? No, no, no. I'm a fan of many teams. There are many teams I follow every single year. I follow the Cavs. I follow the Lakers. I follow the Wizards. I follow Golden State Warriors. I follow the Clippers. See, I follow the Rockets. Who else do I follow? I follow the Spurs. So I mean, I'm pretty much all out there. I'm not loyal to one particular team. Okay. So that's what's really cool about me. So whenever I see people get all bent out of shape for their team or whatever, I just look at them and I just go, you know, I guess I feel for you. I mean, that's pretty much my whole deal. It's like, I guess I feel for you. He's like, but for me, it's like, I got so many teams I like. And, if it's on, I'm checking them out. That's how I roll. But Cav fans, you need to be concerned about what's been happening with this series so far. I mean, Celtics has the Cavs beat on so many weapons when it comes to offense and especially on the defense. On the defensive side, I'm telling you, I'm really liking the Celtics right now. And now it's a situation where the game is shifting over to Cleveland. Celtics, damn good position they're in right now where they could possibly do a sweep. How amazing would that be? And then you look at the fact that LeBron James and the Cavs, if anybody had watched the NBA draft lottery, they weren't even in the top 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Cavs, they came in with the number 8 pick for the 2018 NBA draft lottery. And I just look, my 2 cents from a distance, I don't think that number 8 pick, I don't think that's going to be enough to keep LeBron James around. Thanks, Maurice. Number 8. Yeah, I don't think that number 8th pick is going to be enough for Cavs to keep LeBron James around. I'm not seeing that unless what are they going to do? Are they going to cough up the number 8th pick and cough up Kevin Love and maybe try to see if they could negotiate with maybe not the Suns. I don't see the Suns negotiating since they got the number one overall pick. I don't see that happening. Are they maybe gonna try to see if they can negotiate with maybe pick 3, 4, 5? Right? Are they maybe gonna kind of go in that direction to try to get the type of talent that they need? I just have a feeling that if the Cavs don't make it to the finals, they don't win the championship. I just have a feeling that that's going to be it for LeBron James. As far as where he could go, man, I don't know. Some people are going Philly, Philly, Philly. But then you also look at Los Angeles. You can't really exactly rule them out. But then you got a lot of people saying, nah, man, he's an East Coast dude. There's no way he's going to come on over to the West. It means he'd have to learn a whole new system and all that. Nah, man, there's no way he's going to go over to the West. He's probably going to stay in the East. But then it's dubbed the Eastern Conference Finals because there's really no serious competition out there. So, I mean, there's so many ways that it could play out. But my gut instincts is telling me that if the Cavs don't go to the finals and win the championship, that this is the final season we're going to be seeing LeBron James in a Cavs jersey. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. So, Cavs fans, y'all need to be concerned. You definitely need to be concerned about that. But we'll see. We'll see how the Cavs do because they're going to be playing, what's that, Thursday night? So we'll see how they do. We'll see how they do. All right, let's what else can we get into here on tonight's show, man? So Raw Smackdown came from us from the O2 Arena in London this week. I watched the shows. It was okay. It was okay for this week. Some stuff that kind of caught my interest a little bit. I'm just going off memory here, so I'm gonna have to rely on you guys to help fill in the blanks. Let's talk about Raw first. I like how it had began. The thunderous boos that Roman Reigns had got. Oh, I ate that up. I love that. I said, well, no love for Roman Reigns tonight. That's how I was going. And I was quite surprised that WWE didn't go on ahead and pipe in some cheers and all that for Roman. I was very surprised since it was a tape delay and all that. It was taped much earlier, like hours ago, before we had saw it later on during the night. So I thought that was, okay, whatever. WWE wanted to go in that route. But I love how they had Kurt Angle come out. And Kurt Angle basically says to Roman Reigns, hey, you know, I was talking with WWE management and a decision was made. As far as WWE management is concerned, you are done getting opportunities. Yeah, you came so close at the greatest Royal Rumble. You had that controversy that had went down. WrestleMania. I get it, man. I get it. But WWE management, they're tired of giving you opportunities. I hope you really understand. Tonight, as far as you and a Money in the Bank qualifying match, that's not going to be going down per management. They're done with you. And Kurt says to Roman Reigns, kind of read in between the lines, if you will, which is basically, it's what's best for business. So you hear that, you're kind of going, what is this? A Stephanie McMahon / Triple H jab at Roman Reigns? What exactly is going on here? Who's really calling the shots here? Is it Kurt Angle or is there meddling going on? Is Stephanie and Triple H pulling the strings here? And you can't really, as far as storyline continuity goes, you can't put it past, right? Because after all the stuff that had went down with Ronda, yeah, okay, sure. Bygones probably are not necessarily bygones, at least when it comes to Kurt Angle. They're probably trying to really stick it to him. So you hear Roman Reigns, he says to Kurt Angle, hey, I get it, man. I get it. You have a family. You got to take care of your loved ones. You got to do what you got to do. I get that. I respect that. I'm going to do what I got to do. So he finds Jinder Mahal, beats the holy crap out of him for a little bit. They fight on stage. Jinder is a little bit sored up. He's banged up. He tells Kurt later on, man, I can't go into my qualifying match for Money in the Bank. I'm too beat up. I can't do it. And you've got Kurt Angle saying, no, you're going to do it because it's what's best for business. You're going to do it. And eventually, Roman Reigns was told, you have the night off, take a hike. But he stuck around as Jinder was getting ready to go do his match, his triple threat match try to see who qualifies for Money in the Bank, that one spot in there that remains. We saw Roman Reigns again, did a spear out of nowhere, laid out Jinder Mahal. Kurt Angle trying to figure out, what the hell am I going to do now? Jinder has to be replaced. What the hell? Kevin Owens, a bitter Kevin Owens. We saw him get it into the face of Kurt Angle. Now, what I can't remember, it's coming back to me now. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. That was actually a really good match. I actually had enjoyed that. That was probably one of the few highlights I had enjoyed of Monday's Raw. I thought that was a damn good Intercontinental matchup. Seth Rollins continuing to let it roll, baby, roll all night long. Little doors for you. Yeah, love that. He lost that match. We then see Kevin Owens pretty much threaten Kurt Angle, hey, you need to do the right thing here. It was kind of like, okay, and it wasn't really the right thing if you stop and think about it, because it's like, wait a minute, okay, I lost. I didn't become an Intercontinental Champion. I lost, but you're going to give me another opportunity at a championship. And you're going to do so by putting me in that Money in the Bank qualifying match, or else I'm going to go tell Stephanie McMahon. And Kurt was basically not feeling that. Kurt was not feeling that at all. And I like where this is going. I mean, it really feels as though the seeds are being planted for Kurt Angle eventually flipping the hell out and just going, what the, I'm just seeing that come about. But at the same time, I'm also going, how exactly are they going to acknowledge the awkward storyline with Jason Jordan? Because, I mean, my God, you go to the latest episode of Table for Three that had Kurt Angle, and that was dubbed the Showstoppers edition. Gotta make sure I set the record straight on that. It was dubbed the Showstoppers edition. But you had that Table for Three that had premiered last week with Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Shane McMahon. And they were all, remember that one scene, for those of you that watched it, remember that one segment there? They were talking about their families, and you saw all of their families. You see no Jason Jordan, right? We got to keep up with the storylines, right? But no, you also got Kurt Angle, who in real interviews, he's jumping out there. Oh, it's a great story arc. Oh, when they had approached me, blah, 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 blah. You're like, oh, God damn, so much for kayfabe. But no, you're still going to have fans whenever Jason Jordan does return. You're going to have them go, what's going on with that story arc there of Jason Jordan being the legitimate son or whatever, right? Long lost son of Kurt Angle. What are you going to do with that? So I'm still very curious to see, if they're going to acknowledge that, how they're going to acknowledge it. But I'm seeing seeds being planted for eventually Kurt Angle out as the Raw GM. Who could his replacement be? I'm going to make a bold prediction. I just have the weirdest feeling in my guts that the immortal Hulk Hogan is going to become the new Raw GM. I just have that feeling that's what's going to happen. I mean, everything that has just been coming about, I mean, take your pick, man. Take your pick. You go to the greatest Royal Rumble event, right? And you have the king and the prince and everybody, the royal family, they wanted for the Hulkster to be there. And WWE had a difficult time explaining to them, hey, we need to get you guys caught up to speed. This is why the Hulkster isn't with us right now. This is what's been happening. And we're hoping things can be, ironed out in due time, but he's not with the company right now because XYZ. But they really wanted the Hulkster to be at the event. Okay. And so you also have this situation where you look at the Andre the Giant documentary that came about, you look at the red carpet premiere. I just feel there's a lot that's working at play in favor of a relationship happening once again with the Hulkster and the WWE. So much so that, wasn't the Hulkster inducted into some type of wing under the Boys and Girls Club recently? I remember briefly talking to a coworker about it because my buddy, he's a big Hulkster fan, and he was like, Lee, did you hear about the Hulkster? And it kind of went in one ear and out the other because I was doing something at the time. But I meant to follow up with him about it. But if I remember, that's why I rely on you guys, because sometimes I can't remember everything. So I'll rely on you guys. But if I have that part of the info right, I do remember WWE acknowledging what had went down with the Hulkster and the Boys and Girls Club. And, I'm just, okay, so they're giving him that nod. And then the pleasantries that came about at the red carpet for Andre the Giant, and then slowly but seeing him being mentioned more and more on main WWE TV programming, and then also on the WWE network again. Now he's slowly back to rotation. So I'm looking at all of that, and I'm just kind of going, you know what? Edge, Christian, they've pretty much already said, no, we're not jumping out there. No, not happening. So the Hulkster makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense because I think at this point, it's safe to say that WWE, they're getting more and more comfortable with Kurt Angle to that point. Now, look, Kurt Angle is not going to do what he was doing the first go round that he was with the WWE. All right. Those of you that's looking for that Kurt Angle, that's not happening. You missed your time with TNA. If you weren't watching TNA when Kurt Angle was over there, you missed out. But I do see Kurt Angle having a very reduced schedule. I mean, he might get that Shawn Michaels type of schedule, right? Or it might be even less than that. You never know. I mean, we could be seeing Kurt Angle on the road with the crew, for 3-4 months, pretty much just mainly work the pay-per-views, work a couple of house shows here and there, maybe do all the TV spots, right? But not really wrestling on TV. But I tell you what, I'm gonna make another bold prediction. Damn! I just literally, my mind just went. Somebody cue up the Tim and Eric giant and the GIF, and Tim's just, holy crap! I think I know now. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. If I was the WWE, I think that I would have the Hulkster be revealed as the new Raw general manager when WWE, if it does go down, it's being reported that it is going down. We'll see. But if it's true that WWE is going to be landing a deal with Fox, and basically you're going to have SmackDown Raw, it's basically going to go on over to FS1. And what's the other one I'm thinking? FS1. Am I thinking maybe FXX? I might be thinking that one. But if in fact it is going to be going down, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, that could be very interesting. But no. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. Forgive me, guys. I'm getting sidetracked. But no, if they are able to work out that deal with Fox, if there was ever a time to have a marquee name, that would be it. But see, here's the thing. For the rest of this calendar year, WWE continues to have a relationship with the USA Network. It's not going to be revealed where WWE is going to be going network wise until this fall. And then from there, it's just pretty much like, pretty much like a year deal expires. So, I mean, honestly, if on the one hand, if it was up to me, I would say, nah, bring in the Hulkster 2019. But going into the fall, when you're getting ready to make that announcement about what's going to be happening with the WWE network and everything like that, if it was me behind closed doors having meetings, I definitely would be talking with Fox executives, trying to see where their interest gauge is as far as, look, we're thinking about having the Hulkster come back. if the Hulkster were to come back, we would maybe consider putting him in this role, really try to help out in boosting the ratings, boosting viewership, put him in some really interesting segments with some of the up and coming stars. Would you all be comfortable with Hulk Hogan, on the network with you guys? And if Fox is like, yeah, we definitely would be down with that. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, sure. Then I can honestly see a situation come about where maybe by SummerSlam, Kurt Angle is possibly out as the Raw GM. Like for sure, like the timeline I'm looking at right now, I would have to say maybe by October, November, Kurt Angle should definitely be phased out as the Raw general manager. To buy time leading into the Hulkster, I could see special guest stars, and if there was something that I could like implore on the WWE, it would be a situation where I think for the span of several weeks leading up to when you make the announcement of Hulkster being the permanent Raw general manager, I think it would be kind of cool if every single week or for 2 weeks you had a guest general manager. You just do it like that until it comes time to make the announcement, and then you can pretty much go from there. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that's still going to be a little bit hell bent out of shape as far as the Hulkster and what went down with the past. I've always been a firm believer. We all make mistakes. Lord knows I've definitely have had my share of mistakes in my life in the past. And some decisions I've made, others feel that, oh man, no, he don't deserve a second chance. But I've done very well and getting a second chance handed to me, making the best of it. We all make bonehead decisions. That's the only way we can really learn in life is sometimes we have to be at a crossroads where we do some stupid, questionable things, see the error of our ways, get a cold slap in the face of a reality check. And then what we do with that, we go from there. We all make mistakes. And I tell you what, man, props to Booker T. Props, mad props to Booker T for jumping out there. If anybody knows a thing or two about getting a second chance in life, it's definitely Booker T. When you understand his upbringings, you understand what all had came about with him. I mean, he if he continued the path that he was originally on before he got involved in pro wrestling, he probably would be dead by now, or he would probably be incarcerated for life. And I think he would definitely say to you straight up, yeah, that would most likely be the case. I would either be incarcerated for life, yeah, or maybe I would be dead. I'm sure he would attest to that. So if anybody knows a thing or two about making some bonehead decisions and feeling like they weren't worthy of a second chance, get their lives straight, get them in order and everything, a guy like Booker T who would definitely let you hear about it. So what the Hulkster is able to do with that second chance, and honestly, I think he's been doing really good. I think he's been doing well so far, and he's honestly been on point. For what past couple of years now. He's been on his best behavior. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm kind of going in that direction. So we'll see what happened with that. See what else that came about with Raw. So you got this whole spiel that went down at the USA. What? There's like a conference gathering or whatever. Executives, TV stars, and all that were together for some red carpet event. You get the news about Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey. Nia Jax selects Ronda Rousey as her opponent to face for the women's title at Money in the Bank in less than 5 weeks. And I know there was a lot of people that was looking at this. They were in an uproar. They were going, oh man, the hell is going way too soon. Way too soon. I put a tweet out there. I said, wow, all of a sudden, huh? I could probably get behind this under the right story arc. Are there flaws in this? Yes. Should it be going in this direction at this point in time? Well, let's talk about that. Okay, so we remember when Ronda Rousey had first came into the WWE. What did she say? She said, look, I don't want no special treatment. Just because I did what I was able to do in the MMA world, No, no, no. I want to be treated fairly, just like every other girl here on the roster. I want to be treated as equals to them. I want to earn my opportunities. I want to earn my keep in the company. That's what Ronda had said. So to see Ronda in this position where she's now challenging Nia Jax for the women's title, you're kind of scratching your head and you're kind of going, let's look at the current roster right now for the Raw side. Let's look at it right now. Verdict is still out on Amber Moon. Okay. Sasha, Bailey, they're a little bit tied up at the moment. Yeah. Who does that leave? That leaves what girls are left? Ruby Riot, the Riot Squad. God, they're coming along, but actually Ruby is coming along. Let me really break that down. Let me keep it real. Ruby is coming along. I don't think you should quite pull the trigger just yet on the Ruby Riot, though. So we just talked about all of those women. All right. Who do we have left? We have Natty. Now, if I'm looking at a position, I'm looking at, and I agree with Catherine. Catherine's saying she hasn't earned the chance in the sport yet. As far as Ronda earning that, I'm with you, Catherine. I don't think she's storyline wise, she hasn't earned it, which is why I'm going in this direction. I think a situation is going to occur where if you stop and think about it, take a step back. It's not a coincidence that Ronda Rousey and Natty have been teamed up. That's not a coincidence. I said it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to stay firm on this. I feel that Ronda, Natty are going to get in a feud with each other. Okay. And I think that feud is going to come about as a result of the fact that Ronda is getting this opportunity against Nia for the title. Now, I can see some type of a situation coming about. And let's look at the card right now as far as what we got here. I'm looking at the card here for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and I see we still have a couple of spots that are open. So unless Natty is able to get into one of those spots, I can legitimately see a situation come about where Natty maybe comes down at ringside, coming off as if she is being supportive of Ronda Rousey, but is so jaded, right? Is so two-faced, so jealous at the opportunity that Ronda was able to get that Natty screws Ronda out of that title opportunity. And Nia retains that way. And then you have Ronda, Natty for the next little bit. And then eventually you go into maybe SummerSlam, horsewomen of the MMA taking on the horsewomen of the WWE. Or you could hold it off until WrestleMania. I mean, after all, those other girls that just came in there, they literally just came in there. There's no way you're going to be able to not hot shot that fast. I mean, stranger things have happened in the WWE before. I will admit that, but I would imagine WrestleMania is going to be where it all tips off as far as horsewomen versus horsewomen. So for me, this makes sense. Understand something. Just because Ronda is going to be in this position, it doesn't mean that it's a lock. She's going to get the championship. Understand that. Now, can we all be in agreement for one other thing? Can we be in agreement that so far the Nia Jax experiment as Raw Women's Champion, it hasn't really exactly been going that good? The promos, I'm cringing. I'm legitimately cringing. I'm just trying to close my eyes and I'm trying to listen to the promo that she's putting out there, and I'm just going, that needs to be Bailey. I said it once before, I'll say it again. This type of champion that we have right now, as far as Nia Jax as the women's champion, this feels like it would be better suited for Bailey. You know what it reminds me of? How many of you guys, probably not that many, right? But I know a lot of you guys are gamers. How many of you guys love Elder Scrolls, the Elder Scrolls series? Let's say Skyrim, all right? Nothing is more badass when you find a really cool piece of armor, right? Maybe you're in a dungeon, you fought whatever, some ugly buck face, big belly, one eye, cyclops looking, whatever. You hack slash, you kill the SOB, and you it was protecting the treasure chest, and you open it up, and it's got this cool armor, but like you got to go take it to a blacksmith, and you got to beat that thing, you got to hook it up, and all that, right? Well, after you polish it, you make the investment, you put the raw materials into it, get it all nice and all right. I can finally wear this. You then kind of realize, yeah, this armor looks pretty cool, but it doesn't fit me. And then you kind of realize why. You're maybe a human or you're an elf or whatever the hell. And you realize that armor, as cool as it is, that armor is intended to be put on a orc, right? Or whatever. It looks cool, but for a human, right? So when I look at Nia Jax and I look at the promos she's cutting, I'm going, no, this should be Bailey. If anybody knows a thing or two about what it's probably like being different and being a girl that's into the wrestling and you still watch that fake shit and all that, it's probably a person like Bailey. Bailey is that common everyday person, right? So that it just feels more organic. It feels more natural if it's coming from a Bailey, right? And why WWE, I guess first impressions for them meant a lot, and they just decided, whatever. But then on the flip side, some people are going, well, look, the fact that we got Bailey in this long brewing feud with Sasha Banks is kind of cool. Haven't seen a long time feud burn like this in quite some time. And when it finally pops off, we're going to be quite pleased. I hope so. I hope we are going to be pleased. But to see this version of Nia Jax, give me the Nia Jax that was just walking down, whooping ass left and right, was hardly talking. Her whole theme song, she's not like most girls, right? Take things for granted. They get everything handed to them. She's not like most girls. She sees it. She takes the opportunity. She sees the moments. And how she go from this vicious woman to this, I want to be loved. I just want to be hugged. I just want to be caressed. Love me. I don't know how we got to that. I really don't. I really, really don't. I really don't. I really don't get that. Keeping you guys updated on the score here. Safe to say this game's over. Fourth quarter, we got about 5 minutes left. 117-91 Houston Rockets over Golden State Warriors. Man, they came out in full effect tonight, man. They came out in full effect. What else happened on Raw? Anything else noteworthy we need to talk about with regards to Raw? I mean, I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. The Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley spot there. Fans giving two shits not. A lot of dead silence in the attendance there as Sami Zayn was talking about, I'm going to have Bobby Lashley's sisters on Raw next week, and they're going to tell you what they really think about Bobby or whatever. I look, I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself. I got a bad feeling. I'm not liking how this is going, but I'm going to keep my thoughts until I see how everything plays out next week. I'm going to hold off till then. I know a lot of you guys are maybe disappointed in hearing that, but let me put it to you this way. If you ask me how I've been making of this so far, I'm a little disappointed. I'm not going to go into overkill, but I'm a little disappointed right now. And I'll tell you why I'm disappointed. Remember what I said last week? I said, hey, I thought the kind of out of the ordinary interview that Bobby Lashley gave, I thought it was decent. I've watched Bobby Lashley for a long time in TNA because he's wrestled more over there. I've seen his promos come a long way. And I thought that was a really good controlled segment. It felt as though it was the beginning of some type of a mini series for Bobby Lashley and his interview with Renee Young. And if anything, you guys remember last week I said they need to show more of this. Why not do a little bit of a mini series out of this? Talk about his family. Yeah. Talk about his upbringings. Talk about what got him into amateur wrestling. Talk about what got him into the WWE. Talk about his greatest moments in the WWE. Why he left the WWE. I mean, you could do this so right. You could do it for about 7 weeks or whatever. Really build this up, right? Really build it up. And maybe in the process of building it up, yeah, you could slide in Sami Zayn, who's just cringing, barfing, all of that at these vignettes that he's checking out. But to just basically go from 0 to 60 within seconds, like 2 seconds. And Sami Zayn's, oh, I'm going to have his sisters out next week. And the fans are just kind of indifferent. No reaction from them whatsoever. It's like, man, we should care because, right? It's like, we should care because, yeah, no. So if you ask me off the break, for me, I'm not liking it's giving me a bad vibe. I'm not liking where it's going, but I'm gonna hold off more until I see what comes about from next Monday. And then I will go all balls out from there. I will definitely go all balls out. I don't think there's anything else noteworthy that we could talk about from Raw for this week. Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of qualifying Money in the Bank spots for the men and the women. The updated card right now. SmackDown, decent match that Nakamura, AJ Styles had. The segment that had went down with Big Cass, Daniel Bryan. If I could offer one piece of constructive criticism with regards to Big Cass, for a guy that has that height, that has that size that Big Cass has, I don't think you really should be having him go overkill on the talking. I don't know how you guys personally feel, but I've always been one of those type of individuals. When you got a guy that's as tall as Big Cass, just let him go out there. His height, his physical stature speaks for itself. You look at guys like Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash, I tell you, very gifted for a big guy and to be able to talk the way he's was able. I mean, that's a great combo. And Russell, great combo. That's a great combo. Scott Hall, not too many big men. Really, not too many big men. I know some people kind of crap on the late Andrew Test Martin a little bit, but that was still my dude. That was still my dude. I love that dude. Miss him tremendously to this very day. But when you got a guy like Big Cass that's still trying to carve out his identity, still trying to find his place in the professional world, having him come out there and do these long, drawn out promos. On the one hand, you're going, okay, he's holding himself pretty good. But it's like the longer that he talks, the more you realize, yeah, he's talking a little bit way too much. He ain't getting over Andre. Thank you, Catherine. Andre. Oh, God, Andre. For all Andre, now see, that's a good one because Andre, that's a guy that literally did not need to talk. His height, his size, it spoke for itself. I look at a guy like Big Cass, and I saw what I saw on SmackDown this week. I'm going, why are they having him do all this talking? Seriously, why? Just think about it for a second. You got a guy that's that goddamn tall. Why isn't he just coming out of nowhere? Big boot to the face of Daniel Bryan. Womp, 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 womp. Knock his ass down. Why are we doing this long, drawn out crap? So going forward, less talking from Big Cass, the better. I think is what you need to do. I'm not saying he's got to be a Goldberg type of dude, but it was go back and watch SmackDown. Go back and watch SmackDown from this week. Overkill. It was just overkill for me. That brings me to another point. Nakamura. can I get a little bit of consistency when it comes to Nakamura? We have these weeks where Nakamura says to Renee Young, men don't speak English, right? Men don't speak English. And you're going, okay, cool. That's how he's going to carry the SmackDown universe or WWE universe. Renee Young and them. That's how he's going to do these interview segments now. Fucking fantastic. Great. Yes, that works. But now he's back to, I only understood half the shit that he said on SmackDown this week. Little fat, little fat. I'm not making fun of the dude. I'm just telling you how it sounded. Little fat, little fat, little fat. Ah, then top down. And it's like, oh, I'm cringing at Nakamura. It's like, no, man. No, go, be consistent. If you're not going to have Nakamura give the interviewers 2 minutes of his time, if you're going to have him say, me no speak English, then have him continue to say that. Or better yet, have him talk in his native language. Yeah, have him talk in his native language. And Renee Young could be like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Oh, you don't speak Japanese? Bye-bye. And that's it. I'm not feeling that. This just I'm looking at it and I'm just kind of cringing. I'm just kind of cringing. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna go on record and I'm gonna say it again because I don't want it to make it seem as if I'm lost at words. I'm not really sure what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And to be candid, I'm very frustrated at the continued booking of Nakamura. I don't understand why you just can't have Nakamura go out there, talk in his native freaking language, and have there be English subtitle text. It ain't no different than when you watch Lucha Underground. I mean, I have watched Lucha Underground, the English version, and I have watched Lucha Underground, the Spanish version. And when I watch the English version and you have guys that are speaking their native tongue, you get English translation. When I have watched Lucha Underground on Univision, or I can't think of the other Spanish station, the other local let me think. I used to watch it on Univision, and then I think eventually Telemundo. So you watch the Spanish version, and a guy like Johnny Mundo, who's talking in English or whatever, they would translate his stuff to Spanish. I don't understand what is so hard about the translation. I really, really don't. It wouldn't be a disservice in any type of way to a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura. You basically, and see, that's why I like guys like a Paul Heyman, because that's one thing that Paul Heyman was really, really good with when it came to his time in ECW, when it came to him working with talents. He understood that, like, for a guy like Sandman that really can't wrestle, he really can't put on an entertaining, straight up wrestling match. All he knows how to do is go out there, swig a can of beer, kendo stick, or pull, pull stick in his hand and just beat the crap out of people, right? Okay. That's all that the Sandman knows how to do. But to have him go in there and work a 20-minute match against a Chris Benoit or a Kurt Angle, yeah, that ain't happening. You can forget that. And freaking Paul Heyman knew how to hide that. He knew how to clean that up really good. All right. That makes no sense. That makes no sense to have him out there like that. And folks, this is not the SmackDown Raw recap show where I go over every single nook and cranny that came about from the shows. I just want to stress that because I see, and I do appreciate you guys showing me love and let me know like everything else that came about. But when I say did anything else happen from Raw and SmackDown, what I'm really saying is there anything of significance that we really need to dive into? And honestly, after what I just said, no, that's it. We already talked about the qualifying matches for the men and the women. I mean, again, a update here because I mean, we don't need to go into the whole spill on the matches and all that. For the men right now, men is filled up. It looks like we've got Bobby Roode taking on Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rusev, Miz, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big Cass or Samoa Joe. Money in the Bank ladder match, World Championship. We got Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Amber Moon versus Billie Kay or Lana. All those girls, they're going to be facing each other, but it looks like there's 3 spots. Looks like there's 3 spots that remain for that one. And then you've got an awkward match that was announced from Shane McMahon on social media, which was Shinsuke Nakamura will be facing AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. And this was a very awkward announcement because, and this is where I say storyline. No, I don't say that. What's my catchphrase? Stupid booking 101. Sorry, I used to say the other thing was storyline stupidity, but no, I like stupid booking 101 better. I've been saying that for the longest time now. Stupid booking 101. Let me see if I got this straight. Each time each time Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles lock it up, you got your balls to the walls, man, right? Protect them balls, right? Every time. And so you've got Shane McMahon. Sucks that this keeps happening. I have a simple solution for this because there's been a lot of discrepancies with regards to these two locking up. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, you both will be taking each other on at Money in the Bank for the SmackDown Championship. Okay, great. Is there a stipulation or anything that's coming about for this matchup? No, it's just going to be a match. Oh, okay. You got to clean this up. Now, I know some guys are saying, well, Lee, they got about less than 5 weeks to go. Surely they'll name the stipulation then or what? No, you should be putting it out there off the break. You should. And honestly, I don't understand what's so hard with the finest attention to detail and announcing, look, we need a clear-cut, decisive winner. And the only way that we're going to be able to settle this and pretty much settle this feud that you guys have going on, okay, we're just going to put you guys inside of a steel cage match, or you know what, we're going to put you guys in an Iron Man match. It's going to be a no disqualification Iron Man match. Anything goes. May the best man win. You want to get down and dirty? You can do it. But we're going to leave no shadow of doubt that somebody is going to be walking out of here either as champion or still champion. Do anything you want to each other. Anything goes. I don't understand what's so hard about doing something of an announcement like that. It's stupid. It's very stupid what is going on right now. I'm hoping that they redeem themselves in the coming weeks here. All right, update. Golden State Warriors. They lost. Did I see that score right? 105 to 127. Let me look at that again here. Yeah, so Houston Rockets, they beat the Golden State Warriors 127 to 105. That is the final. Wow. What an ass whooping. I can't wait to watch EJ and the crew break that game down in a little bit. So we talked about those 3 matches. Nia Jax, Ronda, that's going to be at Money in the Bank. You got Carmella taking on Asuka. That was revealed on SmackDown. That was courtesy of Paige. Paige revealing who Carmella was going to be facing for the SmackDown Women's title, revealed that it was going to be Asuka. A lot of fans are going, oh, you're dead. You're dead, man. So I can't wait to see how that's going to play out. I would imagine, though, I'm just kind of thinking of storyline continuity. I wouldn't put it past the iconic duo to kind of get in there a little bit with regards to Asuka, to the point I could see Asuka, Charlotte. Oh man, these 2 girls here. I mean, now that's some good friction. That's revisiting history. Hey, Asuka, Charlotte, kind of some unresolved business from WrestleMania. Asuka's streak came to an end as a result of Charlotte, right? So, I could see something coming about where if you involve the iconic duos, you could have the iconic duos feud with Charlotte, Asuka, and then maybe eventually tensions flare up between Asuka, Charlotte, maybe just in time for SummerSlam, and those two girls go at it. As far as Carmella and her next opponent, if I could just make a bold prediction as far as who I would like to see win Money in the Bank, I would like to see Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has just been on this, you know, and it's sad because she wrestles pretty damn well. I've always felt long before she even came into the WWE. She's pretty decent on the microphone, and it just seems like she's just been just sitting at the dock of the bay, wasting time like that Otis Redding song. That's just exactly how she's been coming off. So if there was didn't see that one coming, I would actually put in a nod for Becky Lynch. And who knows, maybe she cashes it in at SummerSlam against Carmella and then becomes champion that way. That would be kind of nice. I think a lot of people wouldn't have a problem with that. But that's the way everything's looking right now for Money in the Bank. All right. Want to take this time out. Thank those of you that's checking out the show right now. Keep throwing the thumbs up, hearts, likes, all that good stuff. All right. So we got a couple of shout outs that we want to give. And I definitely love giving shout outs. So let us show some love. First off, I want to show some love to our Patreon members. They are the heartbeat of the RCWR show because without these guys and their kind contributions via Patreon, shows like what you're checking out right now would not be free. Them and definitely a lot of love to our sponsors collectively. Without these guys, shows like what you're checking out right now would not be free. So we definitely want to show them some love. I'm going to start things off and I'm going to show some love to our Patreon members. Shout out to the lovely, the beautiful Courtney Summers. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to John Davis. Shout out to my good buddy, Anthony Missionary Thomas from Wrestling Soup. And shout out to Joe Raymond Jr. Thank you guys so much. I had put some new Patreon content up the other day, literally. Put up it's a double feature. We have the Batman Ninja and my review of Jessica Jones season 2 on Netflix. We had made that a Patreon exclusive. You guys can check that out. There is Off the Break just for $5 a month. You get usually 3, at most 4 episodes of 30 with Lee, depending on what's happening that month, what's playing in the theaters, things of that nature. You get access to exclusive RCWR show episodes. You also get exclusive access to the new series that we're putting out. I think we're now 3, going on 4 episodes in, Wrestling with the Topics with me and Tammy. We kick back and had got a lot of love for the joint that we did recently on the Bill Cosby. We were talking about that, and we made that a free for all because we felt, you know what, it's a new series. Let's gauge people. I think the first 2, maybe 3 episodes of Wrestling with the Topics we made free. And I love that series. I mean, I love doing the RCWR show, but if you ask me which series I really, really love having fun doing right now, it's a toss-up. Because on the one hand, I love 30 with Lee because I get to talk about movies of old, hidden gems, stuff playing currently in the theaters, right? But then you got Wrestling with the Topics where I really get to talk about topics that aren't really RCWR show friendly. Like it's not friend. I think that's the right word I want to use. Not really friendly to the point it almost will feel like you're checking out a completely different show. That's the best way I can phrase it. So Wrestling with the Topics, it kind of finds the Sanders household. You're really kind of understanding more of our personalities behind the microphone and all that. So I really love doing that series and hooking up with an old buddy of ours that's been a big fan, Andy, that's been hooking us up with all of the graphics, logos, and all that over the years. I said, man, I can't think of anybody else I want to work with on designing the logo for this new series. He's like, man, I know you can do it. So I can't wait to see what he's able to come up with because now that we've got a nice groove with that particular show, we're like, okay, let's put some logos out there. Let's see how that works. But you get access to all of those great shows that I just mentioned, like off the break. You get access to them for $5 a month. Now I should know because we had some people that were actually butthurt that they got blocked on Patreon. If you got blocked on Patreon, do not take it personal because here's what happened. When you say, I'm going to make a pledge, you make your pledge, and there's basically like $1 on your credit card. Patreon says, okay, you get access to the content. Here you go. Now we're going to come back at the end of the month and we're going to charge you. Well, guess what? When it comes time to collect and your credit card is declined and it's been declined 2, 3 times, guess what? Sadly, you paid for content that you had no business taking. And thus, that's why you get blocked. So anybody that may be the last, I'm only saying that because there was one, I won't put his name out there, but there was one Patreon member that was kind of like, I was curious what was going on with him. And the next thing I know, I found out that he had blocked the show all throughout social media. Rather than reach out and say, hey, it looks like I was blocked from being a Patreon member, what had happened? And sadly, that's it. I'm letting you guys know right now, if you want to get on my bad side, that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Don't be like that person. It's kind of like a direct TV commercial I'm saying right now. Don't be like that guy. Be cool. My challenge to you guys, $5 a month, check out the content. If you don't like the content, I respect you a hell of a lot better if you just sent me a private message and said, Lee, I checked out the content. I appreciate it. Appreciate what you do, but I don't want to go in a different direction. And can I get a refund? I would respect that more than somebody just, all right, here's $1, okay, the card's legit. And then when it comes time for you to be charged, take the whole money out. It's like the card's declined. Like, don't make an ass out of yourself. Seriously. Especially if you've been cool with me. Don't make an ass out of yourself. That's all I got to say. But shout out to our Patreon members. They're really, really freaking cool, man. I'll get into some more shout outs in just a little bit. Let's keep on going, man. Got a couple of more items we can talk about on tonight's show. Damn, it's already. No, that ain't right. It's probably about 1 hour and 40 minutes that I've been on the air. So I only got a couple more topics I want to get into. And then we'll go on ahead and we'll wrap the show up. I think honestly for this week, I think what I'll do, I know I said I wanted to get into a couple of more shout outs, but I think what I'll do instead, rather than save you guys the trouble, I'm gonna save you guys the trouble of going through the ad spots. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna play those for the downloads. So we'll give you guys a pass that's checking out the video stream for this week. This week only. I'll save you guys on that. All right. So where do we want to begin? We talked about the Nia Jax Money in the Bank spot. We talked about that. Mike Bennett. I don't know how many guys saw this tweet, but Mike Bennett, he had put out a tweet like right during the weekend, I want to say. And the tweet was simple. He basically had said, I miss wrestling. And that pretty much was it. And if you've been keeping track, he was involved with the Greatest Royal Rumble. There was also a dark main event match that he did about that same time frame. He has not been seen since. And anybody that's been following Mike Bennett, you are aware of the amazing transformation that he's been able to do physically. I mean, he is just wow. And it kind of made me take a step back and go, well, yeah, what is exactly going on with a guy like Mike Bennett? I'm seeing and no diss to them, but I'm seeing guys like Curtis Axel. I'm seeing guys like Bo Dallas. I'm seeing guys like Heath Slater. I'm seeing guys like Rhino. I'm seeing guys like Kane and a bunch of everybody else you can possibly think of, low mid-card status, that's continuing to get opportunities of TV time. And yet a guy like Mike Bennett, nowhere to be found. I have a simple solution to this. I really do. And it kind of goes back to what I had said initially. You see why I said what I had said. And I don't know if Epic Sports has the clip, but I had said with regards to Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis Bennett, what I would do with them, I would have them go to NXT. What did you guys say though? A lot of you guys, look, sometimes when I say certain things, I mean well by that respected talent. Just because I say, I don't know, NXT, that's not a diss to them. I'm trying to think about where they could possibly be more impactful, more meaningful as far as roster utilization. And when it was initially put on out there that Mike, Maria Kanellis were considering coming to the WWE, that there was some talks going on, some negotiating going on, I said to you guys off the break, send them to NXT. But a lot of you guys were going, no, no, no. They're ready for Raw. They're ready for SmackDown. No, no, no. Put them on there. And sure enough, they come up on the main roster instead of NXT. And what happened with a lot of you guys? A lot of you guys were going, see, told you, Lee. Yeah, shows what you know. Yeah, yeah. I got you guys sounding like Penguin. I don't know why. Batman. My bad. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, I looked at the Canellises and I said, man, I was like, put them on NXT. It seemed like they would have a lot more fun on NXT. They'd be able to connect more with the crowd. They could find themselves. They could fine tune all that good stuff. And somehow they got lost in the shuffle. Somehow, eventually, creative/writing team just gave up on them. And ever since the whole superstar shakeup thing went down, it's like we ain't really been seeing them, right? Now we know Maria's doing her thing. If she hasn't popped yet, she's about to. So but eventually you're going, yeah, she's gonna be back, right? But what's up with Mike? Mike's a solo act right now. Hell, Maurice is, and Miz is still out there doing his thing. So why can't Mike Kanellis be doing like what the Miz is doing? And sadly for me, that sucks to see a talent healthy in the best shape in his career right now, not being properly utilized. Look, I'm Mike Bennett. I'm staying with the WWE long enough. Make sure that child comes into this world healthy and all the bills are paid for. Baby has its needs. But after all that is settled, I'm going to be having a serious talk with WWE management and saying, hey, look, I came into this company and I just feel as though I'm not being properly utilized. I'm not saying I want a world heavyweight championship match. I'm not saying I want to be an intercontinental champion. You guys can use me as enhancement talent. I'll put on and put over whoever you want me to put over. But man, you're having me on the sideline, stripping me of what I love to do the most. That's a joy. You're taking that away from me for each day you have me on the sideline. And I'm not even injured. What the hell? I'm having that talk with management. This is the crunch time. Do you continue to be complacent or do you finally speak your piece? I've always been a firm believer. As long as you have all your X's and O's covered and you know that, hey, I've done everything that is expected of me. I'm doing everything right. I've always been a firm believer you should not feel scared, intimidated to speak your piece. So for me, if I'm Mike Bennett, I'm having that conversation. Hey, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to try to get back on the roster and be some type of an enhancement talent, put other guys over because XYZ, everything that I just had mentioned. And if some type of an arrangement cannot be agreed upon to the point, okay, we're going to start utilizing you more on Raw or we'll send you back to SmackDown, or you know what, we'll go ahead, we'll send you to NXT. Maybe you can find yourself through repackaging, things of that nature. Then ask for that release. Hate to say that, but I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's a lot different when there's a kid in the picture, man, because the last thing you want to do is mess with that steady source of income that is coming in. Might not be much, might not be that Roman Reigns type money, but it's some type of decent income that is steady and you can depend on it, but does that mean you just continue to sit around and be complacent? Nah, to each its own, but I mean, I'm sure for most of us, we're probably going, nah, man, we're going to have that talk, bump that. So, see, a lot of fans are talking about Jeff Hardy. WWE made no announcement and none of that. Look, check this out. So, during this UK tour, apparently during the SmackDown tapings, 205 live tapings, Jeff Hardy was involved in a dark match, and it has a lot of people concerned. A lot of people are going, oh, Jeff Hardy. Oh, he's injured. He's injured. Oh, he's limping around. He's limping around. Oh, he don't look too good. Oh, Jeff Hardy's injured. And you've got all of the dirt sheets. You've got all of the websites that's just basically going off of this. Jeff Hardy's hurt. And it's like, wait a minute. Stop. First off, with regards to the Jeff Hardy limping around, if anybody has noticed for the past couple of months, Jeff Hardy has been coming out kind of limping, almost like Matt Hardy. And I don't see a lot of people talking about that. Matt Hardy walks kind of with a limp like he's hurt. Jeff Hardy's been doing the same thing for a couple of months now. So let's get that straight. And yeah, no shit. If you're in your late 30s going into your early mid 40s, yeah, 9 times out of 10, all that goddamn high flying that you used to do from top turnbuckle and swanton bombs off high freaking ladders and all this other crazy hoo-ha flippity flip fucking shit that you've done over the years. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be walking eventually funny. You're probably going to be walking with some type of a limp if you're not in a wheelchair. So the fact that he's still walking around, knock on wood, as far as I'm concerned. But look, WWE, they have not put out any type of statement yet, right? Right? No statement saying, oh, Jeff Hardy had suffered this and he's out as a result, or nobody has said that, right? You ain't seen nothing from Jeff Hardy on social media saying, last thing I saw of Jeff Hardy on social media, he basically had thanked the fans in the UK for an awesome tour. That's the last thing that he had put out. And he put that out probably now about almost 5-6 hours ago. It's like the last thing that he put out there. Okay. So everybody that wants to, like, they've got this scoop. Jeff Hardy's injured. First off, stop. Pay attention. Look at the past several months. You'll see Jeff Hardy has been consistently, like his brother Matt, been walking with a limp. They're both getting up there in age. I mean, I know it's hard to admit for some of you guys. I mean, look, it was hard for me to admit that Black Hole's son was almost 25 years ago. God, I feel fucking old. Yeah, Black Hole's son, almost 25 years old. The song itself, just like, that's mind blowing right there. Very mind blowing. So let's wait until some more information comes about before we jump all over this. That's all I'm basically saying with regards to Jeff Hardy. Seriously, that's all I'm saying. Rich Swann. Congrats to Rich Swann. Rich Swann is on top of doing what he's doing with some independent bookings. He is also working with Impact Wrestling. Yeah, in case you guys have missed it, he is hooking up with Impact Wrestling. He's actually going to be working their TV tapings. That's actually going to be happening on June 1st and June the 2nd in Windsor, Ontario. For those of you that are curious, yeah, the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Rich Swann. What's Rich Swann doing in the Impact Zone? He's got mouths to feed. That's what he's doing in the Impact Zone. Kudos, seriously, in all seriousness, kudos to Rich Swann. It's nice to see that he really took a step back and just, okay, you know what? Am I really going to do this? Am I really going to go in this direction with no longer being a part of professional wrestling? Am I really going to go this route? So it's really nice to see he kind of let cooler heads prevail because originally it just wasn't looking good. Going into WrestleMania weekend, he canceled all his bookings and basically it was like, I'm done. Just a premature retirement. So it's nice to see that he's going to be sticking around for a little bit. And kudos to Impact Wrestling for, understanding, okay, well, you're saying it wasn't like this, that it was actually this way. Well, okay, well, sometimes the truth can be manipulated in social media, especially to those that's reporting the news. All right, sure, we'd love to work with you. We'll give you an opportunity. So shout out to Impact Wrestling for working with him and giving him that opportunity. So yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and it looks as though the WWE is going to be striking this deal to move to Fox and possibly FS1, and it kind of has a lot of interesting questions in mind, which is, should Raw and SmackDown be on the same network? And anybody that remembers the days of Raw being on the new TNN or Spike or USA, and remember the times when SmackDown was on the UPN network. Wow, that's like a blast from the past. It was on the UPN network, and then eventually it came on over to the WB. I actually remember that. Wow, that takes me way back. Yeah, UPN, the WB was part of the CW. So it has a lot of interesting. I'm sorry, I just like literally felt myself go back. I had to come back there. It's like I don't want to go way back. Let me come back to the present here. But no, it brings up a very interesting question, which is, should Raw and SmackDown be separate? And honestly, I think so. I think that both shows would do wonders not being on the same damn channel. I mean, sometimes you need to have competition from within. And when I just go back and I think about those great iconic moments that came about from SmackDown when it was on UPN and then eventually the WB/CW, it seemed as though there was like this creative fire under the ass of the SmackDown writing team to do everything in their power to really make SmackDown a really great show that a lot of people should be going, okay, you know what? Bump Raw this week. I'm just going to watch SmackDown. And yeah, I think it would be very beneficial to the point. I definitely want to pull up this quote for you guys. So, WWE Chief Financial Officer George Barrows. He was part of the 46th annual JP Morgan Global Technology Media and Communications Conference this past week. And he had discussed a variety of television, social, digital topics. And one of the topics he elaborated on was whether Raw and SmackDown Live could split between two companies, particularly similar to the NFL, since they're able to get higher right fees as a result of selling their content to multiple partners. He said, and I quote, market determines that opportunity. From our end, it's an issue to split it. We have done it before. Maybe trying to say it's not an issue. He said, from our end, we do not think, correction, from our end, we do not think it's an issue to split it. We've done it before. We think we're pretty good at promoting and moving our viewers from one platform to another. 7 or 8 years ago, it was only from one network to another network, which changed dramatically. We can't overemphasize it. It's the nature of social and digital and helping do that. So we've been able to do that before. We would feel even more comfortable doing it today just because we have a direct connection with all our fans, which we did not have 7 or 8 years ago. So our ability to do that, if it made sense economically, there were partners interested. If we felt comfortable with the partners in question, operationally, we would not see an issue with doing that. So That, honestly, coming to Fox, you got Fox, you got FX1. I'm sorry, FS1. I don't know why I keep saying FX. Well, although that is part of, them as well, if I'm not mistaken. They've got FX, they've got FXX, right? They got all that going on. But no, you got Fox, you got FS1. I think they would do wonders. And you know what? Honestly, with ESPN now moving on in this new collaboration slash business partnership opportunity with the UFC. Yeah, for Fox, that does create a little bit of a okay, so what are we going to put in its place right here? So, yeah, I mean, honestly, WWE does look a lot more appealing, I would have to say. But no, I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think at this point, is it better to have the two shows be on the same network? Or do you feel at this point the shows need to be separate? They need to be on separate networks. I'd like to know what you guys think. You also think back to when SmackDown was on Sci-Fi. There's a lot of good moments when SmackDown was on Sci-Fi. A lot of good moments when it was on Sci-Fi. So they really could do no wrong having SmackDown be separated from Raw. Would just feel like a completely different show, a completely different experience in itself altogether. Get into a couple of more topics here. Get ready to wrap it up for tonight. I had teased this earlier, but Dave Chappelle and Jon Stewart, they are going to be hooking up. They are going to be doing a summer tour. Oh my God. I mean, you talk about two of the most funniest guys ever. And they're hooking up. They're doing a joint tour. Now, I don't have the information as far as when tickets are supposed to go on sale. I want to say that it is supposed to be going down in a couple of weeks. Let me see if I actually have the link here. So it's going to be a 7-date event that's going to be running in June. It's going to be happening in 3 cities, and it looks like it's going down the 11th, 12th, 13th at Boston's Wang Theater. Sorry. Boston's Wang Theater. Sorry. That's a good one. And then the 21st and 22nd at Houston Smart Financial Center, and the 23rd and 24th at El Paso, Texas Chavez Theater. And kind of like with Nine Inch Nails, Dave Chappelle, Jon Stewart, and their respective teams to try to fight off scalpers, bots. Tickets will be made available exclusively through Ticketmaster's verified fan program. Registration, for those of you who are curious, it is open right now. It's going to run through Wednesday, May the 16th at 10 p.m. Eastern, with tickets on sale Friday, May 18th at 10 a.m. local time. And if you know your history well, these two guys united back last year, August of last year, with Stewart making a surprise appearance during Chappelle's set at the New York City's Radio City Music Hall. So, I hope that they put on some more dates and they try to bring it on out here to DC. I would love to see them bring it to Constitution Hall. I think they would do pretty damn good at that event. So, fingers crossed. And I got to tell you this because I heard this and I'm going, are you serious? So, y'all know about Frances Bean Cobain, daughter of Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain. Well, remember when Frances Bean had married that asshole? You probably remember because she basically had gave this dude her dad's guitar, gave it to him as a gift. You fast forward, things didn't quite work out with the relationship. They decided, okay, you know what? Let's just let's get a divorce. Well, the now ex-husband decides, okay, well, since we're splitting up, all right, well, I'm gonna take what's mine and keep it moving along. The guitar. She goes, no, 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 no. That's a family heirloom. You can't have that. You can't. But you gave this to me as a gift. But that's supposed to stay on our family. No, no, no. It's like, you and me, we're done. No, I want that back. And he's going, no, 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 you can't. Are you good God Almighty? Is that a steak and cheese? Who's got volume on right now? I need you guys to tell me what Ernie and the crew are eating here because my God. And Ernie is just dipping right into this bad boy. I tell you, Ernie sometimes act like he ain't been fed the way he be attacking. Is that a hot guys? Tell me what the hell is it that they're eating there, man? My God, that looks huge. Ain't no way in hell they're gonna be able to eat all that. Good God Almighty. But no, seriously. Getting back on point here. So okay, so they do this divorce, right? He has Kurt Cobain's guitar. He's like, no, no, I'm keeping it. I'm gonna do with it as I please. I'm, I'm keeping it. Okay. And it just becomes this nasty battle over the guitar. This nasty battle over Kurt Cobain's guitar has been going down since like mid 2016. All right. Well, finally, everything has now been settled. So basically, it looks like the now ex-husband, he gets to keep the guitar, and it looks like he's not going to be able to tap into any type of financial stipend, right? You know, kind of like what had went down with Kevin Federline and all that. That ain't happening. Okay, Francis, she doesn't have to pay spousal support to this dude, and the guy is going to be able to retain the house in which they did live in. So he gets to keep the house. He gets to keep the guitar. You know, when I had first heard this, I'm going, what a dumbass. What a dumbass. Like, I would not have given her this guitar. I would not have given her this guitar until she had reached the age of 35. I would have had a wheel set up and I would have been like, you will get the guitar then. This is like the family heirloom. Like if you're going to be giving this to anybody, you need to be giving this like to the Smithsonian Museum, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like that's who you need to be giving it to, not some guy that let me keep the clean language to myself because the way I really want to ask me how I really feel off the air because I'm just going seriously. What the hell? So you talk about a bonehead move right there. Just bonehead, just bonehead. And Lord knows what he's going to be doing with that guitar. Lord only knows. Is he going to be making a killing on eBay or what? What is he going to be doing with that? So, but at least it's finally and over with. Yeah, yeah. Other than that, see what else did I want to get into. Rest in peace. Yeah, my God, rest in peace. Margot Kidder passed away at her home in Montana. Passed away just a couple of days ago. Died at the age of 69. It was really awesome seeing a lot of people give her a lot of love, man, from being involved in the Superman franchise. For me, and I had shared this on Facebook. I said for me, one of my first real crushes that had came about as a kid was courtesy of Margot Kidder. I first came across her, of course, like many others, product child from the 80s, came across her during Superman. And, you know, it kicked in then. But I really, really came to appreciate her when she was in Amityville Horror. And then I also remember a hidden gem of a movie from 1973, Sisters, very underrated film. And it was really that kind of got me, you know, really being a big fan of hers. And you know, so many people know about her work as an actress, and they just, hey, Lois Lane. But man, when it comes to socialism, activism, you know, letting her thoughts be known on the environment. I mean, there were so many fights that she had took up. You know, she was that good soldier. A lot of fights, a lot of wars that she took up. Native Americans' rights, a lot of civilism that she was involved in over the years. And I think that's really truly the large testament of a significant body of work that she now leaves behind, that hopefully her family and close friends will pick up that mantle and continue to run with it. But it was really awesome seeing so many people show her that love, show her that support, and just the generations of fans that were showing that love and support. Because when you really kind of stop and think about it, my generation grew up on Margot Kidder, and then our parents had grew up on Margot Kidder, and then you could almost kind of say technically the grandparents as well, to a degree almost. So you can almost kind of look at it as three generations almost had grew up on Margot Kidder. So I can imagine that future con events, it's going to be pretty like emotional. It's probably going to be a lot of somber stuff going on that weekend as far as tributes and all that. And I would imagine, if it hasn't happened already on TV, at least going into this weekend, programming is going to be adjusted to show love to Margot. I would imagine Turner Classic Movies. I would imagine AMC. I would imagine everybody's going to be busting out the Christopher Reeve stuff. Or in the case of Turner Classic Movies, I would imagine they're going to just be doing a whole day or a whole weekend dedicated to showing Margot Kidder movies. So no other information is known right now as far as like how she passed and everything. It just kind of comes off as if it was just that time. It was her time. So, but that was sad. Very young, only 69. And I know when some people hear that, it's like, yeah, but no, like the way new medicine has come about, great tips and advice on staying in shape, staying healthy, staying fit and everything. People are now passing the 60s. 60s is now the new 40s. So, to hear her die, so young, it's like, and it was really awesome. I'll say this and I'll move along. It was really awesome that after Christopher Reeves pretty much had gave his blessing to Tom Welling as Clark Kent on Smallville. Everybody remembers that infamous episode where Christopher Reeves had showed up. It was kind of like nice that after that, it took a couple of seasons, but eventually you had saw Margot Kidder pretty much give her seal of approval as well to Smallville, which kind of for me made it even more disappointing that we didn't see Tom Welling in the suit. And it's like, come on, dude, put on the goddamn suit. We get this blur of a freaking CGI, and that just pretty much ends Smallville. Still one of the endings to this day. Speaking of which, I'm glad I never made the investment in Gotham. Gotham is ending. They're coming back for one more season. That season will not premiere until 2019. Fox pretty much had said, hey, you guys were going to let you come back, but that's going to be your final season. Do what you got to do. And that's it. So you're going, glad I didn't make an investment in that show. Seriously. It just, I watched the first couple of minutes. I said, and I know a lot of people are goo goo gaga over that series, but for me, it never got me all excited. Never did. I see that the Lethal Weapon series, I don't know how many of you guys had heard about it, but the guy that was playing Riggs was such an asshole to the production team, crew, fellow actors, that Fox executives, they had butted heads with him too many times. That guy is now out. His replacement, the guy from American Pie and The Rundown, Sean, I can't think of the last name, he's the replacement. Now, what they're doing, they're not going to recognize him as the new Riggs, but to keep the Riggs name in place, they're going to recognize him as Riggs, I want to say younger brother. So that's pretty much how they're going to be setting it up. I'm curious to see how that series is going to do now that they've gotten rid of the other guy. I don't know if that magic will still be there or what. I mean, we'll wait and see. And this will be that American Pie dude, that'll be his first ever time working with a TV series. So should be interesting to see how he holds up. So I'm actually going to check it out just to see how he does. And two more pieces of news I want to share with you guys that kind of caught my eye for this past week. One, keep you guys abreast on everything that's been going on with the Prince estate. Right before Prince had died, he had an arrangement with Tidal, the streaming platform by Jay-Z. And there was the Hit and Run album that he had released through Tidal. And basically, it was only supposed to stream for X amount of weeks. And then that was it. And Prince was in the process of taking all of his music from platforms like that, Spotify. He was just going to remove them all from that and look into other business endeavors. Well, when he passed, somehow you had this crazy situation of a loophole come about where title, they're like, well, we didn't get everything that was promised to us as far as you know new Prince content. We were supposed to get exclusive access to, blah, 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 blah. So Tidal and the Prince estate, they were going back and forth, but finally, after a long drawn out battle, they had reached a agreement. And part of that agreement sees a new Prince album that's going to be coming out sometime in 2019. So you're going to have to wait until then. It's going to be a bunch of unreleased material. It's going to be unreleased material. Um, if you ask me how I feel about stuff like that, I'm going to tell you the same answer every time, which is the way I feel about stuff like this, the way I feel about now we're getting American Idol episodes where the people are singing to Prince's music, and then you've got episodes of Autopsy, the last few hours of Prince, and all this other stuff. I'm going to tell you just like how Prince would probably tell it to you if he was still alive, which is, if you have the heart, don't support it, because that's not what Prince was about. Prince was a perfectionist when it came to his music. Like Prince freaking, so many great hits that we don't know about that most likely will now it's going to see the light of day because of the family, but there's a reason why it stayed in his vault. And for him, it's a situation of no, there will be a time, there will be a place where maybe I will release this music. And then he was also known for doing some really great music and then just going, no, I'm not feeling this, destroy the tape. He's like, what? But it was good. I know, but destroy the tape. And the tapes were destroyed. So I just kind of have a bad feeling because it kind of, for me personally, it kind of feels as though I'm going against the Purple One's wishes. So I don't know how many of you guys feel with regards to checking out new unreleased music from Prince, or if there's some type of a legit way you justify it, or it's really hard for me. Right down to the point, you now see different people that are sharing Prince's music on platforms like Daily Motion, YouTube, and it's really cool seeing so many more people get vocal and saying, "Hey, that's not what Prince wanted." Prince never wanted his music on this type of platform. Like, what the hell? And I can see both sides of the coin, because on the one hand, you go, "Oh man, that's really cool. Never knew this song existed. I never knew Prince had did this song. Wow, this is badass." And you're saying he did this while he was alive, that he produced this, the arrangements, everything is him, and he never put it out there. Like, wow, like that's crazy, right? But then you kind of go, but he never intended for the public to hear this. It'd be one thing if it was a situation where there were X amount of songs that were like in this vault, and he said, okay, when I die, you can release these songs, or anything that's in the vault, you can release, no problem. But not the case. No heir to the throne, to the to the vault, to the estate, because no children. He had no children. He leaves behind no children. So it's like, it's sad. I was telling a buddy of mine the other day, I said literally the way that this is going on with Prince, long after our parents die, long after we die, because our parents is what got us into Prince, right? So that's two generations right there. So long after our parents die, long after we die, and dare I say, long after our children die, there's going to be new Prince music. It's almost like Elvis. That's literally what I was telling a friend the other day. This music is going to keep pumping out there, like freaking Elvis Presley. I mean, here we are all these years later, and it's going to be like Prince. I'm sorry, it's going to be like Elvis, and it's going to be like Jimi Hendrix. Wasn't it just last year that there was a new Jimi Hendrix album that came out of unreleased material, and you're going, goddamn, how much more is in the freaking vault? You know, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. And I agree with DJ Subia. I agree. He said, I can't stand that society doesn't honor these amazing artists until after they are gone. Like Michael Jackson, while he was still here, he was made fun of. After he was gone, tributes everywhere. Exactly. Exactly. You got it spot on, my friend. You got it spot on as always. You know, we're talking about entertainment still, and we're talking about Prince and all that. You know, Friday, the 18th, marks a somber anniversary for you hard rock and metal fans. This Friday, May 18th, will mark the 1 year anniversary since the passing of Chris Cornell. And I tell you, I'm not really looking forward to that. I'm really not. There's probably not a day, and I really legitimately mean this. There's probably not a day that goes by that I don't think about Chris Cornell. You know, and I just kind of knock on wood that I had the opportunity to see the original band members, you know, a couple of years back perform at the old Patriot Center in Fairfax, Virginia, a couple of years back. The King Animal album, it wasn't even out yet, but I do believe they were pushing. Let me think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. I'm pretty sure they were pushing the Super Unknown box set that had no. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure they were pushing that out, or no, they were pushing the. I can't think of the name of the album because I have it, but I only listen to Black Rain. I got it just so I could listen to Black Rain. It starts with a T. I can't. It was like a compilation. I can't think of it right now. If you want to jog my memory in the chat, go ahead. But I remember when I saw them at the Patriot Center, and I had great front row seats. Mars Volta opened up for them. Now, how's that for a card? Mars Volta, you know, opening up for Soundgarden. It's like, and that was like my first time checking out Mars Volta, and I like just became a fan of them instantly. I mean, they did like a nice, good, hard 45, 50-minute set, get the crowd ready. Was loving it. And I was like, I was on the pit floor. So there was probably like two lines of people that were in front of me. So I had, when I say I had a damn good spot in the tent, I had a damn good spot. I had got the VIP treatment and all that. I was actually part of the crew that was able to go backstage and see and interact with the sound check crew. Was able to see the dressing rooms where the guys were, but for some weird reason, we didn't get a chance to interact with them. You know, it's all right. They had us in a nice little cool VIP area where we could mingle, eat, all that good stuff. And it was nice seeing Chris Cornell. It was like the man in flesh. It was nice seeing Soundgarden. It was like, oh, you know, finally. And I was like, I get to see these guys that I grew up on as a kid. It's like, finally, awesome. This kicks ass. And I still remember when I found out about his passing. I'll never forget it. I was sleeping, and Tammy had woke me up, and she said, "Hun, I've got some really bad news for you." I'm like, "What's going on? What's up?" And she's like, I don't really know how to break it down to you, but somebody had passed last night. Somebody that you really, really love and respect a lot. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you said many times that if you wanted to, you know, become a singer, once you learn how to play guitar, you wanted to kind of go in that direction, like they were doing. I'm like, and she literally woke me up. So I'm kind of like trying to get my bearings together. I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about, you know. And she's like, come on now, it's somebody that you really love, you know, you really respect. I'm like, Bono? She's like, God, no, it's not Bono. I'm like, Robert Plant? She's like, no. I'm like, she's like, Chris Cornell. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I'm not sure, but there's a rumor going around it was suicide. And this was at this point, it was like probably 9 in the morning or whatever. So what a fucked up way to be in the morning, I must say. So I mean, You talk about a Debbie Downer. I remember I felt very down all day. I did cry a couple of times throughout that day because that's how meaningful, that's how impactful this guy had on my life as a goddamn kid trying to find myself in the 90s there, man. Soundgarden was like, man, they had like the soundtrack of my goddamn life. I mean, seriously. Um, so it still kind of feels surreal that all right, here we are a year later. It's amazing how time flies too, for that matter, because it doesn't even feel like a year. It feels like Chris died maybe 6 months ago. For me, that's honestly how it feels. So you Soundgarden fans, I don't know how you're going to be representing, but I hope you're going to be doing like I'm doing this Friday to mark the 1 year pass. And I hope you're going to be playing that Soundgarden, and I hope you're going to be playing it very fucking loud. But we lost a good one, man. We lost a good one, the John Denver, if you will, of our time, but for hard rock and metal. So rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Also, we're talking about, you know, because ultimately the drugs, I mean, the mental health, if ever, mental health awareness and all that. You look at what went down with Chris Cornell. I definitely want to encourage you guys to check out the new Mauro Ranallo Showtime documentary that's going to be coming out. I had saw the trailer for it, and my God, it looks like some really, really intense, powerful shit. Let me tell you. It was about almost 2 minutes long, the trailer that I had watched. And man, I mean, they go through. It's called Bipolar Rock and Roller, and it's gonna premiere May 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern on Showtime. Look, just to show you how serious I am about, you need to watch this. I do not have a Showtime subscription. Never have, and I've had Verizon for 5 years now, and I've never had a Showtime subscription. I am actually going to get a Showtime subscription for this month just so I can watch the Mauro Ranallo Bipolar Rock and Roller documentary. I'm telling you, when you watch this 2 minute trailer, you are hooked. You are hooked to see what this man goes through on a daily basis. A lot of times he's good, but then when he has those bad days and how he's able to deal with it. I mean, this man, and he knows this. I've interacted with Mauro a couple of times here and there, and I can't stress it enough. I have such great, deep appreciation, um, affection, love, and support for this man. And he has all the love and support from me in the world for being that voice of mental health. He's not just walking it, he's talking it, and he is putting the big spotlight on it. And we need more advocates like him to pick up that mantle and run with it the way that he's running with it. It is some really intense, powerful stuff. Please, I would implore you. I normally would not even tell you guys, go out of your way to check it out. But just the fact that I'm telling you guys, as long as I've had my Verizon files, right? My only subscription is like to freaking HBO, and I think I have the Encore package so I can see Western action and all that. Like, that's pretty much it. For me to go out of my way to get a Showtime subscription, and I've missed out on a lot of good shows over the years on Showtime. That should tell you how intense this is. So definitely go out of your way, check it out when you guys get a chance. All right. And other than that, give some shout outs here, man. Get some DJ. Yeah, you know exactly. When Paul Gray from Slipknot passed, exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Shout out to DJ Subia. Every time I hear your name and I read your name, I think of that Phil Collins song. Or was it Genesis? I think it was a Genesis song. Studio. Love that joint. Oh, yeah. That really shouldn't surprise you guys. Do I need to talk about that? I guess I need to talk about. Let me see how much time we got here before I wrap it up for the night. Do I really want to talk about that? I really don't want to talk about that. Let me just look here. I really don't want to talk about that. All right, I'll talk about it. Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore, it looks as though the case has been dismissed. In case you had missed it, with regards to that girl that was putting all that stuff out there on social media. Let me read to you the statement that had came about, and I'm not going to be all long and drawn out with this whole Enzo thing. I'm gonna say this, and then we're pretty much going to wrap it up. I didn't realize it was going to be this late, me being on here. So let me see. It's like 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Yeah, man, you guys almost got like a goddamn 3-hour show, man. What the hell? All right, so anyway, let's dip right into this here real quick. Let me pull up this article real quick for you guys here. When I told you there was a lot of stuff that went down on the show tonight, there was a lot of stuff that had went down. All right, let me see if I can pull up this article here. Let me pull up posts. Let me see here. Posts. Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to pull up the article here. Okay. So Enzo's attorney, Tom Cargill, had put out the following statement. On January 22nd, 2018, Eric Arndt, also known as Enzo Amore for World Wrestling Entertainment, was accused via the internet and social media of misconduct during an alleged incident in Phoenix, Arizona, several months earlier. Prior to that, no law enforcement or any other officials had contacted Mr. I'm just going to call him Amore. Sorry, because I don't want to be butchering the hell out that last name, because I don't think I'm pronouncing the last name right. So I'll say Eric, right? Eric of these accusations when his counsel reached out to Phoenix police. Subsequently, and as evidence by the vast amount of online admissions and other publicly available information, it was soon clear that the accuser exhibited a complete lack of truth, sorry, of truth or credibility. At all times, Eric fully and unequivocally denied such accusations and remained confident in clearing his name. The Phoenix Police Department recently informed Eric and his counsel that there is insufficient evidence in this matter to warrant any criminal charges, that the matter will not be transferred to the county attorney for prosecution, and that their investigation and case is closed. No charges were ever filed. The matter is closed. Eric expresses his gratitude for the enormous amount of support from his fans and followers during this time period. The support has carried him through these events and opened his eyes to the faith and loyalty of those who have cheered and followed his career. This experience has further taught Eric to be cautious with his personal associations, because false, defamatory, and unfounded accusations can alter and impact the lives and careers of the falsely accused and their families. Eric is working diligently toward his next venture in the entertainment industry and looks forward to reconnecting with his fans in a big way in the very near future. And it's been interesting seeing some of the interactions, comments that's been coming in. I pretty much had shared this on Facebook, and shout out to those of you that were interacting on this. I got to give a shout out to my good friend Titus Machiavelli, saying, I always said they jump to conclusions, being WWE. However, several sources I know said he was a cancer in the locker room, and they used this as an excuse to let him go. Also, shout out to Chris. Chris said they didn't jump to conclusions. He violated the conduct/morals clause in his contract when he failed to notify them of the investigation into the tape allegations. They were then within their rights to terminate him. And he is absolutely right. Chris does hit it. I reviewed the 30 pages of documents. I know there was a poll I asked you guys like 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to know if you guys wanted me to go through the whole paperwork spiel, and you're like, yeah, go ahead. And we never did. I didn't feel the timing was right. I'm not going to go into it tonight because this has been like a nice deluxe show, but trust me, I'll definitely, I'll do you guys one solid. I'll definitely see if I can find the paperwork, because I know I still have it on file. I'll see if I can find the paperwork, and if anything, I'll probably come right back on here, maybe in a day or so, and we'll just talk about the paperwork. I'll mention the clauses, and but no, the loopholes that are in these 30 pages of a WWE contract. WWE had his ass. They had him. So for those that's like, oh, he can sue WWE, that no, they covered their ass so well. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I like what Aaron had said. The whole not telling your boss that this was going down was just the final straw with a guy they were looking for a reason to let go. As far as any lawsuits against this young lady, as my dad always told me, you can't get blood from a turnip. Who knows? Now that the heat is off, maybe they'll bring him back as a gesture of goodwill once Cass finishes sitting the bed with Brian. That's what Aaron said. He actually, I read that right. That sounds a little, but that's what he said. Matt, see here. He had wanted to be released though before this even came out, right? So if he's smart and wants to do, you think he should come back? He should be the one to dethrone Brock. I swear they need in. Oh, I'm Matt. I'm gonna stop. Enzo dethroned Brock Lesnar. You lost me after that, my friend. And I like usually all the stuff that you comment, but you lost me on that one. Yeah. But no, seriously, great. This is great that now Enzo was able to put this behind him. I mean, there was just so many when you go back. I'm not there trying to pick a side, but I think many of us that have been following this case very closely, looking at all of the information that was available to the public, there was just so many inconsistencies. And then people that were actually friends with this girl saying, no, on the contrary, this is what she's saying. And hey, I don't have anything to gain from this because XYZ, and then eventually you see as everything just kind of starts to backfire on this girl. She's now in hiding, nowhere on social media, last I had heard, unless she finally had resurfaced. So, I would, it kind of goes back to what I had said at the top of the show with regards to Vince Russo and Cody Rhodes putting that whole homophobic thing out there, accusing Vince Russo of being homophobic, no different than what's going on here, which is unless you have bulletproof evidence, when you put stuff like this out there about somebody, you better make damn sure that you have all your X's and O's covered and that there is no room for reasonable doubt, because just the slightest amount of that reasonable doubt can be enough to say, okay, well, you know what? I don't know. I think you're kind of calling bullshit here. Don't really trust you on this one, and here's why. And there was just so many inconsistencies. There were so many things wrong with her story, but what really gave her away was the way she presented herself in social media, the way she had presented herself up to that point, and then previously. So when you have bad character traits, it's really, it's almost like cry wolf, basically. It's almost like Cry Wolf. It almost reminds me with this girl. It almost reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time, The Devil's Advocate, starring Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino. And you all remember you have that scene where Keanu Reeves, he's the lawyer, and he has this shit-faced guy that he's representing, trying to get him off the hook for molesting this girl. And apparently this girl had like a history of saying bad things about, what was it? Or was it a teacher, right? It was her teacher, I think. The teacher had molested her or whatever. And Keanu is, watching this guy he's representing at one point massage his member because of what this young girl is recounting as far as what had happened to her. And he knows this piece of shit is guilty, but because he's representing this guy and he's undefeated, he's never lost a case before. That's what he cares about, his record being intact. I mean, he just finds the single piece of evidence that suggests that this girl never liked this teacher and she didn't like this teacher for these respected reasons and these name callings and what she said about this teacher in the past. She had created that reasonable doubt, and the way his character was just able to dissect the hell out of that little girl. And then when you fast forward and you see how eventually things had played out and Keanu had got basically a second opportunity to do things right, and we saw how that had played out. And it just kind of, when I think about this whole Enzo Amore and this girl, it almost kind of reminds me of that from that movie. So yeah, I hope that Enzo, whatever he decides to do, this whole notion of is going to continue to somehow stay involved in the entertainment business. I don't see how you're able to continue to be in the entertainment business after something like this, after having this type of funk. I don't know about pro wrestling. I really don't know about pro wrestling. Maybe being a C actor in a series or something like that, being an extra in something, but how it's going to eventually benefit him in the entertainment field, at least on a positive note, you and me got the slightest idea, boys and girls. But shout out to DJ Subia. Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Steven. A balls on a pole match. Book it, bro. Book it. Yeah, AJ Styles, Nakamura, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Been sitting around here since 3 in the morning, and I got to tell you, I got a really great match. I got a really great idea for a match, bro. Listen to me, bro. It's a good one. It's going to be a good one. The fans, they're going to love it. What if we just have AJ Styles? You talk about the ingenious that I, Vince Russo, am. Bro, check this out. Okay, so we have Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles. Why don't we put them in a match in the stipulation, right? Right? Dude, I'm telling you. You remember everything that I did during the Attitude Era? You remember everything I did during WCW? Remember what I did in TNA? Come on, bro. You know what I got right here. What I got is so good that Ryan freaking Satin is going to enjoy it, okay? Nakamura, AJ Styles, just put them in a balls match, all right? It's going to be an all-out balls match. The person that hits the other opponent in the balls the most gets the WWE title. That's how we're going to do it, bro. That's how we're going to do it. That's how we do it, man. Come on, bro. It's money. It's money. Bro, what if at one point Nakamura hits AJ Styles in the balls so hard? It hits him in the balls so hard. Like AJ pisses himself. And you just see it leaking in the middle of the ring, bro. That would be like so intense. That would have everybody. Dude, you don't think everybody's going to be talking about that? I'm telling you, bro, it'd be killer. Shout out to Tony. Oh, Lord have mercy. Shout out to Crypto. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Maurice. Let's see who else. Shout out to Catherine. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. If I'm missing anybody else, I do humbly apologize in advance. Let's shut this bad boy down. Your next edition of the RCWR show is going to be coming at you guys. We're back to our regular day and time. Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on May the 22nd. I'll be coming on as soon as SmackDown goes off the air. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes of the RCWR show you may have missed on the downloads. Great platforms like Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all over the place. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. I am on Twitter and Facebook at the RCWR Show. So, you guys, YouTube, Spreaker, Facebook, I am wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go around. Everybody, do take care. Good night. Very good morning.